Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Monday. I can't believe it already. It's 1 p.m. on Monday, and here we are already. Did you know that Swift had a layoff this week? We'll talk about it. And the FMCSA comes up with brilliant strategy. After studying the issue, they realized that detention causes drivers to lose money and possibly drive in an unsafe manner. So you paid for that, and they're going to do more studies. We will talk about it, all right? There's plenty going on in the news, as always, plus your questions and answers. And thank you, everybody, for being here, of course, every week. People come in every week, and I couldn't be more grateful, to be honest with you. So thank you today. First today was Al John's on my list. Okay, so people were saying they're first. That's first today. Michael Muller was in earlier in the week first, so that is what's happening. Misty, thank you for being here and checking in, even though you're driving. I appreciate that you are listening and not watching and being safe. The Tim Hawk, yes, you are home with the stomach virus. I'm doing great. Keep it over there. Don't send it through the internets or anything. All right, Jeremy Griggs, thanks for being here. Columbia George, thanks for coming in. It's the first time on the show. I appreciate you being here. And Potato Head is here today. And let me change this up. Well, I can do this clicky, and I'm going to do clicky things. There we go. All right, of course, it's Roller Wiener Monday. Also, don't forget about that. Get your wieners out, put them in your mouth. It's Roller Wiener Monday, as it always is every Monday. I hope you enjoy a nice wiener today. So thank you for that. Holy mackerel. That is becoming a thing on YouTube, by the way, in the things. It's really something. So, hello, YouTube 541. Good afternoon. What do they think about using their name in there? Ralph is here. Hello, what's happening? Caleb, hello there. Good to see you. Mad Maldy is here. Thanks for coming in. Luke, 1234. You're happy today. You got a dedicated run. Nice. That's what I always love. 2,600 miles a week. And layover, delivery, paying a home Friday by noon for the weekend. Perfect. Isn't that great? Dedicated. People just don't like them. People complain about them all the time. Really, to me, constantly, they don't want to do the same thing. I'll tell you what, you know what you're going to make. You know when you're going to be home. The President, George H.W. Bush, is here and has his wiener with him. You should get yours as well. Hello there today, GT40, hello. The Mark of Excellence is here. You're back to work, I noticed. That's great. You wouldn't miss it. I appreciate that. My Chevy Sonic also appreciates it. Nathan, hello there. Big Berry, Blueberry Man, nice, from Southwest Michigan, the home of berries. So, and Tim Allen, I, Brennan, please help with that answer. Yeah, what answer is that? Did I miss something up here? How long before the DCA is cleared? DCA, what do you mean by DCA? All right, so it's just not hitting me. I'm in Florida right now. Do they have any seafood roller wieners? Of course. Absolutely, you can get those. Certainly. What rolls up better in a roller wiener than some trout? Thanks for the good review on Smith. All right, you're home going to listen to the show on the back hall. Happy Roller Wiener Monday. Yeah, thank you for being here and for being there at Smith. The Tomahawk, the thought of roller wieners is too much. Yeah, you may want to pass on those. They have some that are infused with NyQuil. I don't know if you know that. I think they've got a NyQuil thing going on there. The Barbecue Trucker says hello with Joe, and I lost my pen. I have another pen up here. Joe says hello. Good. I know he's busy over there about this time of day. People coming in for all their wieners. Greetings from a chilly 89 degrees of sunny Phoenix. Nice. It's cooler here, I'll tell you. Mario, hello. Where is your wiener wear? All right, so I do have some wiener wear. This is a sneak preview for the live show, right? I do have some wiener wear. I found some. So I brought that for a sneak preview for the live show. Mike, Sierra, hello. Alan, greetings from Los Angeles. Jedediah, hello. Thanks for being here. Todd, hi, Phil. Turn the camera on. Am I not on? Okay, I'm on there. I show myself being on. Okay, so, right. Hey, Todd, it's raining up there. No, it isn't raining. It's nice out today, sunny, because I was chasing some squirrels from the bird feeder. Michael, delivering in Philadelphia, would like to be home. Yeah, unless Philly is home, right. Dantes, hello. Hey, what's going on there? Where am I here? Hello, you love your Old Dominion job at Mario? Yeah, right. Home every day. Pretty nice. Although some of them are out, right? Are you home every day, the Barbecue Trucker? Joel's Roller Wiener Emporium survived the tornadoes. Good. Because the wieners probably weighted them down there. So that was, thankfully, right in the center of the country, right there in Maine. John, on off time, recovering from a surgery for digestive problems, right? Back in a couple of weeks. Well, I was wondering about that. Are they going to make you take a physical before you come back? I always wonder what companies do about that. The DCA report from employers. All right, so what was I? How long before the DCA is cleared? Okay, so I don't know how long it takes for, you mean the DAC report. I don't know how long it takes for stuff to come off of there. Stuff stays on there a long time, at least as long as a credit report, I think. I actually don't know how long it takes. Who's about that here? We can get that answer from somebody. Charles, greetings from the pilot off of 95 in Savannah. You're having a better weather day, but it's not doing anything here. We're expecting flurries later in the week. Semper Fido, good morning from the Bay Area. I love it. Golf Wayne, you talked to Swift recruiter. Yikes. They denied your application and said they're not hiring right now? Really? That's amazing. Swift is not hiring? When does Swift not hire people? They run ads all over the place, but they're not hiring over the road in New Orleans. That's really something. Did you tell me you would give him some beads? Nathan, thought on suing an owner-operator that injured me in a truck on a truck collision. He rear-ended you. If he won't pay for damages, then you'll have to get somebody to sue him, right? Get an attorney, a personal injury attorney, and sue him for damages, certainly. Gary, does anyone else have issues with time delay for overweight permits? Yeah, who's in the delay for that? Hello, YouTube. 27 degrees last night. Yikes. Get out the shovel. The White Knight. Why so much drama on YouTube with truck drivers? I have no idea. I don't understand it. I don't participate in it, and it doesn't help the industry at all. Everybody who want to help drivers, help the industry, drama, that's probably not the way to go. Talking about other people, just not great. Swift is laying off, the sky's falling. Swift Logistics, which is part of Swift, okay, Swift Knight, they own that. They laid off 56 people in Pennsylvania. Now, I'll tell you what, people give Swift a lot of grief for a lot of things. Here, they followed the WARN Act and said the layoffs will be effective December 31st. That's more than 60 days. It actually has to be 60 calendar days, which it is, more than 60 days. They're following the WARN Act, unlike so many other garbage companies. So it's 56 people. They said that the market is not what it used to be, and so they're laying off, but they did give the people 60 days notice as required by law, and they filed with the state, 56 people. But they're still Swift, and now I'm seeing that they're not even hiring and they're laying off. That's not great for Swift. Maybe it's something you can get a better job somewhere. Michael is sitting at the Costco distribution center. It's about 103 degrees in Florida with the humidity. Wow. I hope they're letting you run your truck over there. Caleb, why don't you have a roller winter costume for the cat for Halloween? I'll tell you this. Putting a costume on a cat, I don't know if anybody's ever tried that. I don't think I'd want to try it. I'll tell you that. Always had, cats for many decades, and I don't think putting a costume on a cat, I don't think that's going to go good for me or the cat. Randall Smith, what's happening with the freight in Texas? I don't know. Is people not getting out of Texas? Luke 123, if we're getting paid $20 on the dock in Navarre, Ohio. What's out in Navarre where you're waiting on the dock? DAC is also higher, right? Yeah, they use it to report incidents. Correct. I don't know how long your stuff stays on there, though. David, first time listening. Good topics from Chalice, Washington. Nice. Thank you for being here. I have an hello from Winamac, Indiana. Oh, right up the street. Loading Braun handicap bands, right, where they make all that stuff. Where those things go off to, anyway. And how can you put 3 of them on there, maybe? David, we need 2 switchers at Ford in Brownstown, Michigan. $22.50 an hour, 12-hour shifts. Do they pay overtime? Monday through Saturday, occasional Sundays, double time on Sunday. Nice. And, of course, quality is job 1 there. I appreciate your hard work. Although they made our escape in Louisville. Thanks for the answer. I'm sorry I couldn't get you an answer. I'm not sure. Okay, here's 10 years on that. There we go. You should take 8 years. I know it's going to be at least your credit report time. What's up with the hours of service, James Faust? Nothing yet, right? So we all commented, meaning a few thousand people commented, way less than, maybe, 10% of the whole population of drivers. Not even that, 5%. Anyway, they're looking at the answers now. They're reading what everybody said, and then they have to study that and determine a proper course of action, at which point they'll have a date set to implement the hours of service, and then the lawsuits begin. That's what they said. So that's how it works, So we're actually waiting for them. I'm still saying because they anticipate lawsuits. They said that right away. They anticipate immediate lawsuits. So I'm probably looking at March, right? I don't see nothing this year, certainly nothing this year. You're here, Trucking Journeys. Thanks for being here. Todd Heifel, going to Effingham. Oh, my favorite Petro's over there. Other than the Petro 2 in Salina, Kansas, the Critic got back from home time with dead batteries. Got back to the truck at 7:30 and just leaving now. Yikes. Some APUs will run themselves to keep the batteries charged, so that's one way to do it, I guess. Maybe he was overqualified to drive for Swift. Oh, that would be something. Yeah, maybe they just don't want you personally. Golf Wayne is with KLLM now. What do you think about that place? I've never been a huge fan of it, so what do you think about it? James Faust, where do I work? Oh, well, that's an interesting question. I always look at the time to see what time it is when people ask that. I try not to say where I work. That keeps them out of my videos. And plus, with the drama on YouTube and that, keeps all that out. But it keeps them out of my videos, and I don't recruit for them. Can you imagine that? Everybody out there is recruiting for their company. Not me. I keep it out of there. DAC is 10 years, just like the employment history. Okay, there we go. Blue Lion. The topic varies, right? I got this Swift transportation thing, some other stuff, whatever you want to talk about, too. Got PAM Transportation running an ad for $1 a mile for owner-operators. Any owner-operators here going to tell me that is a good deal? I'm not sure. Thinking about getting in on that program. Last I heard from Swift Ocala, they're enacting a hiring freeze due to not having enough trucks. Really? Well, I'll tell you what, they got a ton of trailers over here because I live not far from Wabash, and they park their trailers all over Lafayette here. It's the second largest employer in town after the Subaru plant, and they have hundreds of new trailers sitting waiting for themselves. So if they ever get any drivers, they could come and get their trailers from all over the place. Hello from Canada. Glad the GM workers are back to work. It's affected the drivers. I can imagine how that was for drivers waiting 5-6 weeks. Yeah, they're finally back to work. Now Ford is next. They said they're next. Chris Keller, sorry you were late. Thanks for being here. GP Transco is here. It's good to see you back in the chat. Thank you for coming in. Nomad Trucker leaving Texas as we speak, so you got a load out of there. Well, Bill, we had this question a moment ago. Thank you for asking. And it's good to see you here today. Trucking Journeys, you're in Aurora, Illinois, not far. My load doesn't pick up until 4, but I'm here. You have to wait until 4:30, 2:30, or 3, right? Yeah, that totally stinks. Oh, but what does every company say, right? Oh, just go get it. You can get loaded early. That's every single company. And you get there, and what happens? They go, you can't get this early. What are you talking about? They just want you to get up there and go get it. So that's every place. Thanks for your answer. Company messed you up for applying unemployment. Yeah, they're not supposed to mess you up for that, of course, but they do. Not surprised mega carriers are laying off, running on such small margins. I'm certain fluxes can cause these issues. I'm also certain these layoffs will return. Yeah, certainly. When they run cheap, and then suddenly it gets a little cheaper, they're like, crap, now what are we supposed to do? Holy mackerel. Steel Horse, thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Cassius King Trucking is here. I saw you had a new video today. I'm going to get that watched to see how you're doing. Hope that Pete is doing good for you. Trucking Journeys, yeah, that's 25 minutes from your office. That's true. GP Transco is right down the street from you. Come down and say hi. Not far away. Gary, at this time, Indiana takes 48 to 72 hours to issue permits. Wow. You have to route through Kentucky, adding 300 miles. That's crazy. Can you get them early? I guess it depends how the trip goes, right? Never had to do a permitted load like that where I had to wait. Heading home from El Paso, you like driving for Tyson, Dantes. Yeah, Tyson, the only thing that's griped up me about Tyson is their waiting time. So detention, which they don't pay for. So how much detention do you get at Tyson? And maybe it might change my mind on it. Since you work there, how much detention a week would you say you get, which is unpaid? Swift is down 30% income since 2018. I saw people are releasing their numbers, of course, and some are good and some are not. I'm amazing and love the videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to highlight that and give it to my wife, Jim Trucker. Question of the day, where do you work? We don't say where you work. Exactly. Keeps them out of the videos, Like I said, I had a driver last week who wrote to me and he got fired for making videos, so I don't think Smith will be understanding about me parking in another company's terminal. That's a good way to do it, though. I will say, if you are looking for a job somewhere and you're driving, you drive into the company in the other truck. They know that you're working. You got hired by somebody. You're not fired. And they can look at your truck and see it's not all beat up. So that's not a bad way to do it, really. Eating some lobster mac and cheese that your grandmother made for the road. Sweet. Why isn't Grandma making this for everybody? Holy mackerel. Come on, Grandma. Give me some lobster mac and cheese. Dave Johnson, you're in extreme late 30s yourself. Excellent. And I'm practicing fasting 1 day a week and feeling better. That's awesome. Isn't it great to be in your extreme upper 30s? Wow, Bill thinks that's a good policy. I appreciate it. With APUs, you have to set them on auto in order to keep the battery on. You can't just shut the truck off and leave. Like with our green ones, you have to turn on and set the battery monitor. Okay, but there's still a way to do it, right? To keep the truck batteries fresh as a wiener. Effingham, the TA Sabros inside and Panda Express across the parking lot. Panda Express? I'm not a fan of that. A lot of Swift drivers are averaging 1,700 miles a week. Oh, and are usually doing short loads, and Swift is getting $3 to $4 a mile. 1,700 miles a week is not super great pay. Hello, YouTube. Next crap company. So many to choose from. There are so many around. Todd says it's 10 years on a DAC. See, and I don't like the DAC. You can't get it cleared up. I mean, what are you supposed to do about it? Little Opie, good afternoon. Chad actually got service in the oil field for once. That's unusual considering in the middle of no place, right? James, love the channel. Thanks for the information. In Fostoria, Ohio, getting loaded to Dallas. So that's not bad. Are you going to get out of Dallas? Because apparently there's no freight there. Roger Penske says it's roller wiener time because it's roller wiener Monday, certainly. How about that for a transition? Nomad trucker, hope more megas fail, more loads for you. Capacity will bounce out, certainly. When companies fail, no matter what, 1 truck, 1,000 trucks, that freight's less to move. It doesn't mean there's less freight. There's just less trucks to haul it. Makes the freight rate go up, absolutely. And makes jobs pay go up because they have to compete for drivers. Al Johnson's back at the door of the terminal waiting, getting paid to see if I need to swap out trailers. See, now that's the way to do it. And so, since, like the FMCSA said, they're going to do a study this year, by the way. Where am I here? FMCSA, detention causes unsafe driving. Wow, and drivers lost $1.3 billion last year in wages, according to the FMCSA, for detention that they're not getting paid for. Yeah, because the FMCSA, they were surprised to find out that the drivers, sometimes they drive over their hours because they don't get any money for detention. They're like, wow, we need to study this. And so in 2020, they're going to do a big study. And they're going to figure out how to fix detention. So that's awesome. Quitting smoking at soda at the same time, but don't want to become one of those 600-pound truckers. We got one in the high 4s. So that's still pretty big. Great job. Keep up the work. Very informative. Thanks, Will. I appreciate it. Class 8 truck sales are up. Yeah, I mean, truck sales, Mack just went back to work this week. They've been on strike, and they commented that the sales are up this year, 27% from last year at Mack, because they were in the news because of their strike. So, yeah, Class 8 sales are still up. No problem. Quitting smoking. That's where am I at? Tyson, the percentage is dropping hook. That's also worth considering. Right, exactly. Right, that's what I'm saying. How much are you waiting versus how much are you driving? There's less Swift trucks on the road. You know what? I don't see Prime. I used to see them all the time. I don't know what happened to them. And I go on 70 all the time, so I don't know what to say. I think the sales thing is weird. Maybe they're counting pre-orders. Yeah, that's the sale counts when they make the truck and deliver it. That's true, certainly. Roller Wieners Roll, they're the best. They're super good. Delicious for any breakfast or dinner, even a formal occasion. Am I the only one who's excited to see snow? Yes. Maybe because you're a Southern and you don't see snow? Yes. You're the only one. Believe me. Like to see me do a review of Fremont contract carriers. Not a bad place. If you work there, what do you think about it? Or why do you say it's not a bad place? I mean, what are they doing right over there? A little late checking in from cold Idaho Falls. Yikes. Going into Denver, then home. Yikes. You got chains on there? Do a special on night. I did a video about night transportation. I did that. Tyson does not pay till 18 hours, right? But they keep you moving 3,200 miles. All right, so you don't have to sit around and get it. See, that was always my problem. That hey, we don't pay for detention. I thought that's about ridiculous, But if you're not sitting, it doesn't make that much difference. But I also thought a company that doesn't sit you ought to have a high pay for detention to bring people in and say, look, if we ever do sit you, it's $50 an hour. Covenant routed me hazmat through a tunnel. I refused and drove to Gordon. In your Covenant truck and got hired on the spot. Don't they own Gordon now? Didn't they buy Gordon? Covenant. But the people that route you, they don't know anything about. They don't know anything about it. They're not drivers generally. Even here and almost everywhere you go, there's rarely a driver in the office that knows anything. Unless there's some driver in there because he broke his ankle or something, so they're putting him on light duty. Greetings from the Bikini State. Oh, nice. Hopefully you are also participating in that. The barbecue trucker, maybe you can use Grandma's recipe for lobster and cheese roller wiener. Joe's interested. Oh, that would be a nice addition, I think. You just can't, you'd have to figure out how to keep them in there on the rollers. King Bob, sorry you're late. Thank you for coming in. What do I think of Great Wide? I don't know. Is that owner-operators or not? I don't know anything about it. Hey, what's going on? It's good to see you here today. Thanks for coming here. James, get 300 miles a week. Company driver for Blitz Express. Blitz, that's pretty good. This time of year, a lot of large companies are refreshing parts of their fleet, like Smith has done refreshing their fleet. They refresh the fleet here by spraying them with Febreze. So they go, look, the whole fleet's refreshed. What kind of food in a truck stop? Well, certainly you got roller wieners. I will say truck stops, though, now are doing better to getting a better, variety of food. CR England has 200 trucks sitting at a dealership near Atlanta for months. Are they new trucks that they're waiting for, or what are they doing there? They don't have too many trailers sitting out here at Wabash. I don't remember if they even have any. Eugene, I drove all night and just woke up. So where am I? Because I have no clue. Yeah, you can GPS yourself. Like McDonald's, Subway, Burger King, Taco Bell says, hey, yes. Most of them have at least one of those, and some have a lot of them. Like Walcott, they have 10 restaurants or whatever in there. You saw a teal GP transport truck at a fuel island. All right, and the turnpike. You're pumping the driver, get his key. His face was hilarious when he realized it was the wrong truck. Sorry, wrong truck. Oh well, what are you gonna do about that? That's what Gracie thinks about that. She's not impressed. I'll say that. Getting the wrong truck, you'll get shot that way. Well, from what I'm being told, Swift is pulling the 2016 model trucks off the road and selling them, really. They removed more trucks than they purchased to replenish the fleet. Well, that's one way to cut down on the number of drivers, but if they're not going to hire, then they shouldn't run ads. Why are they running ads if they're not hiring people? Get their ads out of off the road. Jimmy never drove an International. What all the hate for Internationals? Look, I drove some of them. I don't like them. The Max Force didn't help them. They had an engine. International had an engine called a Max Force. It was basically horrible. They didn't run right. They didn't have any power. And I didn't like the way the trucks were set up. I've seen these new LTs. I've never been in a new one. The older ones, they just weren't set up good. The last good one that I had was a cab over when I drove for Ream water heaters, and that was some time ago. No one wants to drive England trucks for 14 cents. Hey, that's 14 cent split, I'll tell you. Some of the trucks have issues, especially the western states, major air issues. Like, really? I mean, if they're new trucks, it shouldn't be an England thing. It should be the same as any other truck. They're just buying the truck. Woody Boogler Trucking Company is a good company. Keep on Trucking. I never heard of that. Where the heck is that place? You work there? Where is that? Have the required change for Colorado. All right, you're all set. Let's see. We're going to diesel repair school. Interesting. Dave the Trucker says Roadrunner. CMANDC. Okay. Going to exit 15 on the Pike, heading to Maryland. Well, that sounds like it's fun for you and not me. Headed from Florida back to South Carolina. Love the dedicated route, paid by the hour. JJ, yeah, look, I like it. It isn't for everybody. Believe me. We have people come in that get on a dedicated route and they quit because they want to do something different every day. But I'm telling people, you know what you're going to get paid, and you generally know when you're going to be home. If you have an actual dedicated route where you do the same thing every day or 5 different things a week, whatever it is, the dedication part is the stability of your pay, and you know what you're doing. It's just, if you don't like it, I guess don't do it. But I think it really stabilizes your pay. How do I feel about Kaiser Transportation, flatbed specialized out of Wisconsin? I don't know anything about them. Kaiser Transportation. Oh, Bridget wants to say hello as well. There's Bridget looking to see what's going on. I'll also have a cab over break. How about a cab over break? How about a cracker box? Who remembers the cracker box? There's one of them. There is a cracker box. So that's pretty interesting. Look at this one's even got a deluxe sleeper attached to it. That's pretty nice. And who remembers those kind of wheels as well? Pretty awesome, the cracker box. So what's Gracie up to? She is snoozing as usual. If you could drive a new semi, which one would it be? Our drivers voted for the Cascadia, but a high percentage say they love the Volvo. But that Cascadia just snuck in. Look, they're still good-looking trucks. We'll put them out there like that. They still look good. How about that? The teal, you just can't beat it. There's some information for GP Transco right there. I like the teal. Always write a rebuttal if something happens. That's how you cleared up. Mark, you've done it a couple times now. Oh, good. Okay. Every time I go into Tyson, I'm not eating meat again. Lasts about 2 hours. Well, look, that's 2 hours at least. Heartland bought. It was Heartland that bought out Gordon. There's a Kenworth vote for you. Been stuck in Utah all weekend. There's worse places to be stuck. What's the weather doing out there? And have you seen Pam Wilson walking around? Heartland bought them years ago. All right, I thought they were bought by somebody. Al only runs 1,600 miles a week. You get paid by the mile. You would only make 690. Feel bad for all those laid off Swift guys. Yeah, there's only 56, and at least there's jobs, and they have a 2-month window. They're saying, look, in 2 months, you're going to be laid off. So certainly within 2 months, if you have a decent record, right? I mean, we could all agree you could get a job within 2 months, certainly. Where did I go? I've lost myself. I do this all the time just so for new people, I lose my spot constantly, and that's pretty awesome. So eventually I just find the law to go. What about the AB5 law passed in California? Yeah, that passed a while ago. You're going to have to probably get your own authority if you're an owner-operator or become an employee in California if you don't want to work for a place. Look, if a place does business as a trucking company and you are a trucker, then you are an employee of that company. They can't sub it out to people like that and say, oh, we don't have to pay benefits. It's just, why do we want, people running around without benefits? I'm pretty much for it, pretty much. It was meant for Uber and Lyft, but it got into trucking as well. It seems like Subway at 90% of the truck stops. Trucking Journeys wants a Western Star over there. That'd be good. I know 2 Swift drivers that are getting 3,200 miles a week. One of them is dedicated. There we go again. If you're on a dedicated too, and you do like this run 5 days a week for Kohl's or whatever, it doesn't matter. Target, I think they do Target or something, Sam's Club. You're going to get those miles every week. So I think that helps you in a slowdown as well. Like I'm still working steady, no problem. So our maintenance shop will no longer take outside customers. I didn't know you did that at GP Transco. Wow. King Bob is going to be leaving England soon. Congratulations. I hope you find a good place to go to. Way too many Subways and Denny's. Yeah, I don't know. You can't just do slap it, flap it, tutti frutti every day over there. Denny's or whatever the heck it is. England closed the terminal in Atlanta? Really? That's why they're sitting? They did, really? When did they close that, though? We saw Top Line Western Star at a conference. Right. How about one of those 8900s or whatever? Super nice. They're always quiet. I always thought they were quieter. Sierra England closed the Atlanta prison. Oh, best truck you had was a Marmon. You didn't like the Cracker Box? Holy mackerel. I really liked the 2002 International. You drove the Eagle, right. But that had a Cummins and a 13-speed. That was set up correctly. After that came that Max Force, and basically they almost ruined England, or International. I keep thinking England. Right, they almost ruined them. You love Subway salads. When you're diabetic, you have to pick and choose carefully. Yeah, Al, what my dad did, who's no longer with us, when he would eat bad food or whatever, he would just take more insulin. So I don't think that's a great idea, right? So at Christmas time or whatever, he would take extra insulin so he could eat all the Christmas cookies and stuff. Not a great plan, okay? So I don't recommend that. I hear what you're saying, right? He should have followed a better diet, but hey, we should all do something different. Steel Horse, what's a cab over? Exactly. It's been a long time since we've seen them on the road. International trucks are running the Cummins engine now, yes. They have Cummins. They've always had a Cummins option in them. Woody Boogler's out of Gerald, Missouri. I just want to work there just for the name because I say it as Boogler. Has anyone tried CDL meals? No, I have those on my board up there to write to them, and I haven't tried them, but I have it on the board. Steelhorse cat puns really freak me out. Oh, my gosh. Really? Really? Cat puns? Holy mackerel. That was really something. I need a new meme for that one. Got a couple of friends at FCC. One's an owner-operator. One's a company flatbed. Company is making 58. What's the owner-operator make? Man, Maldi bought new chains. They're nice and shiny. You're going to need them here really soon, right? When you order at Subway, make sure to tell them to hold the flies. Al thinks that's a nice GMC. That is really, it's like an early 60s, right? Something. Your opinion, which semi-truck has more room? The bunk area? Well, I mean, it depends on how they set it up. The 72-inch studio sleeper, whatever, is pretty big. Yeah, Wild Bill says Dayton wheels on that cab over right. Most people don't remember Dayton wheels, and I thought that was pretty good on that picture. Getting those off on the side of the road, really something. So, Kenworth trucks rule. Mad Melanie, your chain changer sealed in the bag where they will stay. You don't have a hanger for them? Dayton wheels, they're terrible to put on right. It would take forever. Woody Boogler, I'm going to say it again. Love the cracker boxes. What do you think about the deluxe sleeper on that one, too? I'm sure there's no APU on that truck, I don't think. Only a decent interior package, a decent color scheme. Well, the color, but don't necessarily care. Wendy's is paying $12.50 in your city. You're done with trucking if you get hired. Really? Look, first, last name. Trucking, may not be great, but $12.50 is only $500 a week. You certainly make more than that driving a truck. And if you're only close to $500 a week, there's other trucking companies. And that's if you get 40 hours. I mean, $500, that'd be pretty good at Wendy's, but that's still not great money. Kenworth makes the biggest factory bunk at 86. That's even bigger. Okay, so is that the Studio 86? Used to drive for England on the Pods fleet. Some people sent me a picture of it, which I appreciate. Paid good under CR, but left because Swift offered 53 cents. Oh, are you still there? California's burning to the ground. That is true. James Faust drove a 1966 Cracker Box. Was yours a sleeper also? Hey, Mark, sorry you're late. You're on home time in Louisiana. Brandon, thanks for being here. Willie, you drive a T680 with fridge and inverter. A lot different than that Cracker Box, huh? Back around the end of spring. I sent your video, Smith, to your supervisor, and the recruiting said you should have seen how happy they were. Really? I'm surprised how little Smith advertised about the company being employee-owned. Yeah, I didn't even put that in there because that doesn't impress me necessarily that much. But they are employee-owned. I'm glad they liked it, and I hope some people go over there and find a good place to work, certainly. Swift has had a target. They never wrote to me, by the way. Some companies do. Some do. They didn't. Swift had a Target dedicated out of Pueblo for as long as you can remember. Most Swift in your area are hauling Target. Yeah, see, so if they're on Target, especially now, Christmas, Target's going to get super busy, right? So we'd think those people would get busier. Well, Bill, Denny's claim to fame is, where did I go? Right, and I lost it. There I go. Is to get double covered and smothered, covered in cheese and smothered in onions. Right, there's all kinds of covering and smothering. I don't know. Almost sounds like a crime scene. And all the other high-quality equipment in the pay. I think so. T680 is the best truck around. We couldn't agree more. GP Transco companies need to provide insurance and benefits and the perks. We tell drivers that we don't do 1099. Some of them get upset because they think they're making more money, right, when they're getting hosed out of it. And the thing in California is companies, they're not doing it to benefit the driver on this AB5. They're doing it to benefit themselves. They're like, oh, we can just get people to work for us without having to provide benefits that drivers should have, if they're company drivers. If you work exclusively for one company, you're an employee of that company. It isn't like you are, you're an independent driving all over the place. And so that's the problem is Uber and Lyft got away with it, and so they made a law about it. Alice, you type B, you don't need insulin. Oh, you're working on fixing it? Okay, yeah. My dad was getting shots, of course, for it, which he had mailed to him, which is kind of convenient, but he would just take extra, which is not a great plan. If you're going to order an international with the Cummins, stay away from the automated 10-speed. Get a 12-speed or a manual 13-speed. I would say the manual 13, right. 10 seems like not quite enough gears for the automatic. I've never driven one, though. Do you still hold classes for folks who want to get a good trucking job? Yeah, I had a call in a few, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I had a call in. Nobody comes. So I posted up there, and nobody comes to them. But every once in a while, I do a call-in thing for people, and nobody shows up to them, so I don't do that many of them. But once in a while, I'll do an hour or two for a call. I'll put the number out there and that. But if people want to do it, I'll do them again. But last one, nobody came at all. Sometimes you get wait where you're in Chicago and don't do 1099. Yeah, you're the only one within 72 miles of your place that actually hires people direct. Believe me. JB Hunt had cab overs 15 years ago. Yeah. What happened to all Schneider cab overs? Any for sale? Oh, not from Schneider, probably. Chicago's a huge disaster of 1099. That's true. And some drivers want the purported extra money, Hoffman Transport bulk tankers on Chanhassen, Illinois. I heard it's a good job. At Arsenal Road. All right, so they're right there. Nice. I'm loading 9,200 gallons of helium. Should be a fairly light load. Oh, when you scale out, it'll be lighter than when you put it in there. The famous Dayton two-piece rims. Exactly. Isn't that great? He wants to work at Wendy's because he's hot and juicy. Yikes. I'm an old school trucker, 25 years, driving for Uber and Lyft the last 5. Really? Looking to buy your own truck and looking at an Uber Freight. Really? Well, Uber's buying its own trucks too. And the problem is getting back. You'll have some problem because you don't have recent over-the-road experience. So I don't know about buying your own truck, insurance and that. I don't own my own truck here, so I'm sure people can help with that. I think it's expensive. I had a coffin sleeper just like this one. Super great, right? The famous Dayton two-piece rims. Don't you love those? I drove a 2013 Volvo with a D13 and a 10-speed. Right, one of the worst trucks you've driven. Only good part was the 10-speed. I don't know about some of the newer 10-speed autos. I don't know. On Hometown in Texas, just got off the lake catching some bass. That you can send those to Joe's, and he can make roller wieners out of them. $10.99 is horrible when you have a medical issue. Yeah, you don't have any insurance. You go in there and say, well, I don't have any insurance. And they go, well, you're going to the state hospital. I mean, nobody thinks they need that stuff until they really need it, right? Once you need it and don't have it, that's a real problem. I tried talking to a Swift recruiter months ago about being a trainer. The dude was a jerk. He told me no. He wouldn't tell me pay. No, I couldn't speak to his manager. What the heck? You can't talk to anybody. I won't tell you what it pays. NP own a 680, trading it for 660, traded for 680. Wow, nice. Currently drive a 97 Freightliner. Wow. And love the longer nose and wheelbase for ride and comfort. It has an old cat right at 3406E, sweet, and a 15-speed. Wow, that's an unusual combination of that. Dino says 660. I was never a 15-speed fan, certainly. I didn't think it was geared right for the road. James Faust I think he still has a cracker box with the Super 10 in it. That would be a good combination there. It's a good sign when a recruiter refuses to give you information. I know, isn't that great? I don't have a manager, and you can't talk to anybody, and I won't give you any information. It doesn't make any sense. And then how do they expect people to come and work there? Cats are nice, but you love your ELD. Yeah, you're getting you don't have to have it with that 97, I'm sure, right? You're going to be exempt. All the Schneider cab overs went to Mexico. Your first truck was a 56 white Mustang. Talk about primitive. White. I never heard of a Mustang. What the heck? Thanks. I will call it next time you hold one. Yeah, I would be willing to even pay for training. Yeah, I do them for nothing. I'll have a call in, and you can either call in or video in through Google Meetings, right? But it's a video or a phone number that calls in. So last one, no one came at all. So I don't know what to say. Uber found a loophole on AB5, especially stating that they only... a tech company, that's what they're saying. But that's going back to court. And, I've been a driver there for about 4.5 years or so. And I kind of agree with them that you are independent there because you can work for other people. You can work when you want. You can stop working when you want. Your car only has to meet the requirements of the state. They don't have any other requirements for it. So they kind of are more independent than the truck drivers, because drivers in California, a lot of them are 1099 for one company. You drive their truck, you fuel it and everything. You're an employee. Simple as that. Uber rate the worst TQL. What's TQL? Steven, I'll sell your mind. Right, nice. What do you think about buying trucks at auctions? Well, see, again, I'm not an owner-operator. I haven't been to one yet, but I've heard about them. Why don't more drivers talk about this? It's like buying a car at an auction. So I think it depends who you talk to. Like, I would never buy a car at an auction, right? I'm a dealer kind of person, so that everything is fixed on it. If you want it's more of a risk, right? And I'm not in a risk for a business like that for me. There's plenty of people that would do it, and there's probably people on here that know more about it than me. I don't know anything about it. I assume you got to show up with the money. Cassius King saw 2013 Pete with a Super 10. No way. Was that the last year for that, maybe? Did it go out that long to 2013? Wow. Is it still sitting there? I mean, did you see it last week or something? Is that what happened? Oh, please tell me where that dealer is. I'll look that up. People should never wait for them and make a last choice. Yes. You can make $1,300 a week if you buy and own a day cab. You will run 459 miles and go home every night. That's pretty good, on a day cab especially. You can't get a truck history at the auction. Oh, that's interesting. You wouldn't know the history of the truck or anything about it. Cash is King Trucking likes roller wieners with ketchup, mustard, and throw a salt packet on there. I would recommend taking the salt packet off of there. I love the Super 10. You even put it in your F-150. Well, you know what? It already has a 10-speed. So the new F-150 has a 10-speed in it. So it would be hardly be able to take the difference. So far, the Mac you bought has been the best truck you drove. I like the way they look. Just like the guy who's selling his suits. You're going to love the way you look in it. Leonidas are great. Hey, from Chillicothe, Missouri. Hauling soybeans up and down the hills. Awesome. We love it. Love the edamame. How about that? There's some fancy words. The barbecue trucker, a good bit of Schneider cabovers were bought by the Mexican companies along the border. I think you still probably see some of them down there. Any used truck should consider an engine rebuild at any time. That's the risk, right? So you buy a truck at an auction. You don't know anything about it. It could run for years. It could run for a week. Because you don't know how long it sat. You don't know anything about it. It's a risk. I guess at the right price, it's worth it, right? At the right price, anything is worth it. Nathan, 15 speed is good for pulling tankers in dirt, gravel, and snow. Okay, so you're not on the road. So on the road, I never thought it was good, but right, off-road, yes. And it's very unusual to see a truck with that in it now, certainly. Steel Horse says that Pete will stay at the dealership forever. Yeah, so I think it's still there. So where is that truck? I want to go see where it is because I think it's still sitting there. I won't have to work for it. For 1099 medical visits, I negotiate a cash price with the doctor in each office visit. It's a pain, and you won't use the emergency room. That's the problem. 1099, here's the real problem. You get your appendix burst, you have a real problem, you need a surgery. You don't have a choice but to go to the emergency room or go in the hospital and get a huge bill. For what? For 1099? I don't think so. And plus, you're being misclassified. You're legally being misclassified. If you're driving somebody's truck, you're their employee. There's no question about that. Chris, how's the company truck I drive? You drive a 2010 Cascadia for a year and a half with a 485 DD15 and 10-speed, and we had tons of problems. Well, I have a 2018 new Cascadia with the DD15 in it and a 12-speed automatic, and I've had little problems with it. It's only been in the shop one time for unscheduled maintenance, which was because the brake lights kept coming on for a recall. So other than that, the truck has not had really any problems. I picked it up brand new at the end of 2017, like late fall. So there you go. Do you need a passenger endorsement for the porcelain bus? Depending on how often you're in there, you might. What do I think about Trucker Coach? I don't really talk about other channels because that just doesn't do good. You know, that turns into drama or whatever. You know, so there you go. I listen to everybody or nobody, but a direct channel. You know, Trucker Coach is on the channel here, and I subscribe to him, so there's that. I watch his videos, so go to Smithfield to pick up, drop, and hook. Surprise, it's behind schedule. Great. You get to sit there. Congratulations. First, last name, Uber is not a taxi service, even though they do what a taxi does. No. You're just giving rides to people that are out that need a ride. You're just giving a ride to somebody that needs a ride. That's what they tell you. Just giving rides to people, and they give you a few bucks for it. No problem. The best truck you can buy is a Freightliner 2005 with no DEF. Detroit Series 60, which was a very good engine, and 10-speed Eaton. Both engine rebuild, you'll never be on the shoulder. Yeah, that's true. Look, that Series 60 runs good. 12.7, no problems with it. Runs really good. Good fuel mileage. They're hard to find now. But I have not had a problem with the DEF in my truck. Some of our trucks did. We got them in order. You know, there's the next one. Here's 1, 2, 3, or whatever. We got them in order, and I haven't had any problems with my truck for it. Kenneth P., what did you miss? You've missed, you're showing up late. The cat wants to know why you're late. That's one thing. Demerits for you. Talking about Swift closing their terminal out there, 56 people. FMCSA detention, stuff like that. And cab overs. Your first truck was a 72 K100 cab over. Wow, I don't have a picture of that. If you bought a truck, it would have to be new, never used it from an auction and only from the dealer. That's how I do cars too, just because I just want the security of it. I don't know. I bought my Freightliner on Facebook Marketplace. They're pretty cheap. Really? Facebook Marketplace has Freightliners on it? Holy mackerel. Guess what you're having for lunch? Roller cheddar beer brats. No kidding. That's the way to do it. Because it is Roller Wiener Monday here. As it is every Monday. All right, there's that. I came home the other day when the neighbor came out, cut down his pine tree, and the fresh smell and the diesel came. It occurred to me, your new aftershave is called Diesel in the Pines. Diesel in the Pines. Who is making this? Tim McGraw heard that Washington might nationalize the AB 5 law. New York and Jersey want to approve the law. At least that's what I heard. Maybe. I mean, they always want to do that kind of thing. There's a lot of problems with national, though, because there's a lot of more states that are more business friendly rather than California, which is more employee friendly. So I think they'd have a problem doing it nationally. I mean, is it a problem if you work for a company and do the business of that company? I'm a plumber and I have a plumbing business, and you work for me as a plumber. Why are you not my employee? Well, and if you are, why is that different than a truck driver who works for a trucking company hauling freight and you haul their freight? Why are you not their employee? That's what my question about it. Cassius Gaines in Atlanta at 65, waiting to pick up 7,000 pounds. That's how you always do it. And one stop, are these going to be no stops again? Wonder what happens if I check in at 1 instead of 3. I want to get loaded. Yeah, well, check in and see what happens. I rented a 2020 Silverado with the 4-cylinder and the 10-speed, and that truck moves. Look, I've seen reviews of it, and the 4-cylinder, Ford is considering doing that as well in the big truck, so you can have at it. I mean, drove a 1980 Pete with an 18-speed. That would be something. What part of Atlanta? I'm loading in Lithia Springs, which is down there. Got another new truck since last week. Had a coolant leak. I got a gallon at 500 miles. That's super bad. Any coolant, it's not supposed to leak anything. So, can we talk about those nasty pizza slices at the Flying J? I used to love those, and they come in a little box in the shape of a piece of pizza. So I think they're super delicious. Plus, you can buy a whole pizza and take it out to your truck with you. Where did I go? Okay. Mark, how is it possible to stop your clock for 3 hours? It isn't yet. It's going to be in the new regulations that come out. You'll be able to stop your clock one time off duty for up to 3 hours, but only once. So if you do 2 hours, you don't get the extra hour again. One time per shift for up to 3 hours at your choice to rest or avoid traffic. We'll see. Maybe it'll be sometime in the winter at the best. I need a job that'll keep me busy and utilize your time. You've only been getting 100 miles a day to 400 with a day off. Oh, you got to get out of there. The problem is you're not making any money there, right? And so, Chris, wherever you work, ask them if they have a dedicated run that you can get on. Mike Johnson, you respect my drama free. Thank you. I try to keep it, to trucking and cat and other type of related products like that. You know what let me to vent a frustration? You've been asking Smith for a new model. Since I've been here, they won't give you one. They'll give you a brand new Pete. Well, most people probably want a Pete. I'm surprised that they don't have a Freightliner to give you, considering most people probably want a Pete. Freightliners are all reserved because the older drivers prefer them, and they'll let you know, really, that's really something. Of course, that's what I would want too, because, I want a truck I can see out of, and that I like it. I like my Cascadia. Anyone that says the old trucks are better than the ones we have today are full of garbage. Air ride seats, yes. Power steering, Jake's, ABS, air conditioning. I know, isn't it amazing? Here's another cab over. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here, who remembers this kind of truck? This is not that old. How about a 1979 Ford 9000 cab over? All right, awesome. This one's a single axle, but you could get them set up however you want it. I'm sure people remember these cruising down the road. Do we want to go back to this? I don't think so. I'm not a fan of going back to that at all. Does not ever catch up on any kind of wiener. Never put ketchup. Okay, I see, on a wiener. It depends on what you want on your wiener. My 2000 Freightliner 2001 with the DD15 on the clock. After a tune, no real issues. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had, considering, that time, and it sits outside, no problem. We don't plug them in. I don't have a plug for it, so I think it's done pretty good. California's going down like the Titanic, and the Titanic went down with the lights on. Well, also, the governor of California, I wrote this down, they're going to investigate gas prices in California. Why? Because name brand places sell gas for more than unbranded places. And so people are upset about that, and they're going to investigate. Isn't that great? I say, who cares? Go buy it wherever you want. They can sell it for whatever they want. What happened to this being America? That's okay. Get enough demerits from your wife. Exactly. My first truck was an 89 cab over. Wow, Freightliner for Transtar out of Wapaka. After 6 months, you got a 1990. Oh, cab over with the condo. You upgraded to that, huh? Want to talk about all the trucks that got blown over on Tennessee? Yeah, I saw that. An I-40 during that storm. It blew some trucks over there, and they're sitting on their side or whatever. Very dangerous. Always run with your seatbelt on. I mean, there's not much you can do about the wind, I guess. I'd park it if you could, but otherwise, have your seatbelt on and be careful. I don't think anybody got injured or not very seriously. Trucking Journey says a 2013, which has a 6-speed. When you put in a Super 10, more years and more pain. You love torturing yourself. Yeah, that's what it'll be too. Okay, Wayne likes the Flying J Pizza. I agree. Does anybody heard about drivers getting upset with their company and leaving the company truck on the train tracks? Wow. Has that ever happened to you at GP Transco where they leave the truck on the train tracks? Wow. That's a crime. I would think you should call the police for that. Let them scale in California catch with deleted DEF. Oh, you can't delete it. It's illegal to delete the DEF system on your truck. It must stay in there. If you don't go there, it'd probably be the only place you'd be caught, but no way could you do that. No way. I can't imagine that's ever happened to anybody. Where did I go? I'm lost again, as always. Do all those generators run in California have DPFs? No, but they actually talked about that APUs and all that stuff will be required at some point to have the DPF system. Yeah, all diesels will, no matter their size. Lawnmowers are going to have to do stuff. Yeah, any kind of, more higher end equipment that people might drive around that are diesels. Yeah, they talked about it. Pepsi food pizza always looking Pepsi Flying J, Pilot Flying J. There it is. Look better than it is. You could swear that between the cash register, the cheese disappears. Who says there's cheese on it? Hey, Mark, listen every Monday. Ernesto, thank you. Took your info and went and got a government grant. All right. In California. Thanks for the information. Now you don't have to pay. Good. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. And I encourage you, everybody, who wants to go to truck school, first call your state and see if they will pay for truck school. Some states like California here, there's a grant program. We can go to truck school for free. No, you don't have a contract. You don't have to be beholden to somebody when you get out. You get your license, no charge. You're paying your taxes for this stuff already. Go get a license, and you don't even have to be unemployed. You've recovered loads, but never trucks. Nomad, I know some people leave them, but I've never heard them on the tracks. GP has not happened to you, but we know companies who've had this. Really? I mean, that's got to be some kind of felony. This driver should totally be arrested. Why would you risk somebody's life, the engineers on the trains, to teach the company a lesson? Holy mackerel. That's something that should be put on a DAC report. Oscar, good morning. Did you hear about the FMCSA making exceptions to the ELD? Oh, if you're hauling loads to Tampa or where the tornadoes hit, yes. They do it when it's convenient. Right, they said, because of the weather, you don't have to follow hours of service, but only if you're part of, something that is part of recovery, that kind of thing. But right, they do this all the time. And if it's safety, they shouldn't be able to exempt you. It's still unsafe, right? Dry van load doesn't have as many as reefer loads you used to do. Yes, Cash is King Trucking. Good. I mean, 24 stops per load was a real problem. 1 pallet per load. Trucking Journeys would not consider abandoning a truck. You always take it to the terminal. Yeah, as long as it's drop or drop lot, so it's not abandoned. I mean, putting it on the train tracks, how mad are you at the company to do that? There's something wrong with you. You can kill the people on the train. What good is that? Was that prove something to your company? That's crazy. What do I think about Melton Truck Lines? Yeah, well, let's see what people here think about Melton Truck Lines. You always give a 2-week notice because you don't like burning bridges and may go back to the carrier. Oh, I'm not big on the bridge thing, only because if you quit, here's what I think. If you quit for a reason, okay? And so that reason may fade, but just move on. There's too many other things. So the bridge thing, just move on. You'd say, all right, we part, and that's it. But I just say move on. That's just me. Breakfast pizza is good at the J. Beer and pizza gym truck. I don't think I guess you probably can buy that at the J. It's not recommended. Cassius King bought that pizza at the J and then rub the grease from the box on the front tires to keep them shinier. Oh, I used to put it on the fifth wheel. You could use those instead of those grease packs you buy. Those things by the register like this, they're about this big. You throw them on your fifth wheel. You can just throw pizza slices from the J up there. Work the same way because when the trailer comes down and crushes them, all the grease squirts out just like the pack, and they're biodegradable. So that's the best part of it. Yeah, they work really good and they're cheaper than those grease packs. I recommend them. You drove from Melton, Mike Johnson. They're not bad. All right, good there. I figure there might be somebody out there from there. Your Mac Anthem blinker went out, and it's $1,200 replaced because it's one whole assembly. Oh, well, okay. So on the new Cascadia that I have also, right, it's got an LED light. The headlights and all that, they're LEDs. And they told me if those go out, you'll have to come to the shop. They're going to give you a loaner truck. And then they will order a new one and replace the whole assembly. The same thing has to be replaced. The entire front light assembly, they'll order it. They're not going to stock them because they're expensive. And they'll give you a loaner until the part comes in. You're getting a loaner for your light being out now. So, yeah, that's a new truck problem there. Well, Bill puts 100 miles a day on your spotter truck, and you're getting some more miles than some people. Marty says, yaw control, right. Having an abandonment on a record is bad news, not to mention how dangerous it is to leave the truck on the tracks. It's crazy. It's a felony, I got to believe. And you could kill the people in the train. I mean, what's the point of that? You damage the environment with the spill of diesel? There's no reason for that. No reason for it. Hope for a good dispatcher. All right, you've got to do that everywhere. You drove a 1981 Ford cab over, and you love those 9000s. Let's see, what else do I have here? I have another picture of one here. It's a little bit older. How about a 63 P351? Do we remember these trucks cruising around? That's a 1963. It's hard to believe that truck is, that old now. 351. Some of them had sleepers. This one doesn't. You don't see them on the road, certainly now. I haven't seen any of those Fords in a long time either. I went northeast once in 2 years. That's good. Bring back the 80s. Rhino. Yeah, Rhino, but you don't want to bring back the 80s from the trucks. I mean, even 1979 Ford. I mean, this is almost the 80s, this truck right here. This is what we were driving. Remember, look at the bottom. I'm moving the mouse here like anybody can see the arrow. Remember when you used to have 45 license plates on the truck, right? And a bingo card, right? Everybody remembers that. And 73 stickers on the side of the truck. I mean, come on. Everybody, anybody out there? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? You'd have to get a plate from almost every state you went into. So that's not going to be any kind of great technology. And that one might have had air conditioning. I mean, in the 70s, you still could have got air conditioning in them. But holy mackerel, power steering, air-assisted steering, air assist, and the window air assist, wipers, air assist, everything air assist on them. Where did I, as usual, I lost. Melton has a driver-facing cameras. All right, that's a problem. You know, I see more of these going in and people are writing to me. And what I say is, look, when you get somewhere, if you're already there and they put it in, it's one thing. And if you are not there and they have them, it's totally another thing. And it might be reasonable to say, look, I'm not going to do this. It's only when they take them out. Where did I write over? Do I still do Trash Company Week? I do things to consider about companies. I haven't done some. I had Smith up here, but they were in the good column. My first company was Transtar in 1991. 17 cents a mile. 88 international cab over. You were rolling it. Martin has $11.50 weekly guarantee. You're retrieving a truck in Alabama. Do you have the keys to it? How are they doing that? Acceleration rules in Charupa Valley, California. Currently love it in and out. Chris has a driver that abandoned one of the trucks on a residential job in front of someone's house and in front of one driveway. Well, that's still an abandonment, but at least nobody's going to get killed running a train into it, right? I mean, take the look. If you don't like a company, any company, it doesn't matter. They're treating you poorly. Take the truck back in there and quit. Okay, you have every right to do that, but give them their truck back. It is their truck. Drive it back in there right where you got it from and say, I quit and we're done, and give them the truck back. You know, leaving it on the tracks, I don't know what that proves to anybody. You kill an engineer, you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life over because you think a company did you wrong. That is not the right way to do things. If you want to quit or whatever, give them all their equipment back that they gave you and say, here's your stuff back, here's your truck, and we're done. And that's one thing. But leaving it in front of somebody's house or for train tracks, that's crazy. And that should go immediately on your deck, and no company should hire you for that. Train tracks? I mean, come on. I hope that company called them in for that. Software delete is easy and undetectable by DOT. Yeah, the software delete, but the DPF delete isn't. Cassius King says the EPA fines $2,500 for deleting the DEF or tampering with the exhaust. Yeah. I assume that on your truck you would not tamper with it, right? Ernesto can link a, where did I go off to? Ernesto, oh, here. As usual, I've lost my spot again. Okay. Expat at Large, Ernesto can link a website to the WHIA program. Yeah, that would be great. Could you do that for us? ISH Dolo, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Can you name some tanker companies in Indianapolis? Well, I know around here, their Food Liner is huge around here because they come up here all the time. And also running through Indianapolis, only because I know a guy that works there, is Ruan. And so Ruan runs milk from Fair Oaks Farms in northern Indiana down to southern Indiana. And they hire out of Indianapolis. I've seen it. And it's a drop and hook tanker. So you're running milk loads 7 days a week. They run every day. They have to run 24 hours. You can get a schedule there. And it's a flat rate of like $230 a day almost. And that's how it works there. Ruan for tankers in Indianapolis. Now, I don't know about the rest of the country, but in Indy, Ruan gets you Fair Oaks Farms milk tankers. And Food Liner has a huge deal out here also. KAG is out here too. There's a lot of tankers that run through there, but I know Ruan is there. The breakfast sandwich at Subway is awesome. I love them. False deleted truck can pass a smog test. Okay. Never had an exhaust check. Also not deleted. I do regular PM and yours works fine. Some of them have a lot of problems and some don't. So the government is changing this because they admit that companies are working sitting drivers for free, no detention. So by creating the stop the clock, no one can be sued for time. Look, exactly, Arthur, exactly. That's why the ATA love this. I'm surprised OIDA like this rule too. But all the trucking interests and everything love this. So you get 3 extra hours. Not yet, okay? The rule's coming. 3 hours, you'll be able to stop your clock one time a day at your choice, off duty. And so it's up to 3 hours. So if you go 90 minutes and start driving again, you don't get that 90 minutes again until you've taken a 10-hour break. So it's not 3 hours total. It's 3 hours in one shot. And, of course, it's going to be used where? At the docks. You're going to sit at a dock for free, not get paid, and they'll go, well, you got 3 extra hours. So that takes the burden off of the shippers and everything to get you out. Absolutely. It's total disaster. Why everybody supported it as flexible, more flexibility. When you add unpaid time, that isn't giving you any flexibility. Okay, it's all going to be unpaid. So now your day can be 17 hours a day. Isn't that awesome? For the same money as 14 hours. How many hoods do you see? Very few, and for good reason. Exactly. Old Pete Duel. Yeah, that from the movie Duel, if everybody remembers that movie, that was a Pete in that movie. Martin pays $20 an hour detention, $150 a day, $200 a day on the weekends. That's very good. You like the old Pete? Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? We're getting old. Yikes. Wait till I get the next truck up here. You remember the 63 Pete's, James Faust? Did you ever drive one like that? I mean, they were still rolling around in the 80s even. There's a company offering you 55 cents a mile to run to Chicago to California, but he never said anything about insurance. Oh, nice. Ask him. And it's probably 55 cents, $10.99, correct? Is that how it works or no? Because, the higher the mileage that they put up there, the more you have to be skeptical. I'm seeing 70, 80 cents. There's got to be something to that. Nobody's offering company drivers 80 cents a mile. 59 Chevy, Pontiac, and Cadillac. All right, all in the same. I don't like the newer trucks and technology because newer generations of drivers have lost their instinct. Towing companies have never been so busy. They just said also this week that truck accidents are up this year over last year so far. So accidents are going up even though all this technology, and they want to mandate lane keeping and automated emergency braking. They want to mandate that for all new trucks. You won't have to retrofit it because it would be impossible. But as new trucks come, they want to mandate it all in there. Sylvester Stallone worked on a 351 Pete. He did doing what? What did he beat it up? What did he do with that truck? Dwight, I do think we need to form one big union that's operated by the truckers. Yes, but we can't even get people, even groups that form together, like this 10-4 DC group. They had 100 people sign up to come to a rally, and only 40 showed up in their rally in DC this year. So they managed to get 40 trucks and drivers together in DC. 40. Okay, there's like 1 million licensed CDL drivers. So that's not going to be enough really to do anything. It has to be company by company. It has to be a large company. You pick that company and you shut that company down. That's how you do it. Just like GM did in their strike. They shut General Motors down. Now they're actually negotiating with Ford. They're going to have a lot more bargaining power with Ford, I think, because they actually did strike. They're like, we're going to do it, and they did. So say you pick, it doesn't matter, A, B, C company, and they have thousands of trucks, and you shut them down until they start paying you detention and agreeing. Then you go to the next company and go, do you want to talk, or do we shut you down too? But getting all the drivers of the company to shut down at the same time, it's going to be very difficult. And it's not like they have to do it for long. Would all those trucks stop at noon? By 1 p.m., they're talking to get the trucks moving because they know you're running out of hours. It wouldn't take long at all. But people, will they do it? I don't think so. At least take the truck back. Dwight, yes. Look, if you're going to quit anywhere, give them their truck back. Don't park it on the tracks. Don't park it at your house. Don't park anything, right? And company, it should be the same on the company. Okay, company should not leave you somewhere, which I've had people write to me. Mark, they fired me, and somebody came and recuperated the truck, and I'm at a truck stop. So the company should be the same thing. Bring the truck back. I wouldn't do that as a company. I wouldn't leave my truck somewhere in hopes that you don't damage it if I fire you on the road, personally, but that's just me. Bring the truck back, but you quit, give them their truck back. Whatever they've given you, give them back, because that's their stuff, and then part ways. Simple as that. Leaving it on the tracks, no, there can't be anybody that would agree with that. Buying trucks is based on opinions. What do I think is great is not for others. They all have pros and cons exactly. For me, it's just not going to be a thing for me. Your 2019 was climbing hell at 1,500, at 37,000. Time to get it looked at. Get that thing in the shop and get it turned up. Little Opie remembers the bingo cards and stickers that go on your front plates. Yes, exactly. On one, and then you had 14 other plates. What terminal is Swift closing? Okay, Swift Transportation is closing a logistics terminal in Pennsylvania. 56 people will be laid off. And people can say what they want about Swift, but they followed the Warren Act and gave more than 60 days notice to everybody. It'll be closed December 31st. So unlike all these other companies, people have more than 60 days notice. They'll at least be able to get a job, certainly. And if not, you could get unemployment. It's certainly legit. Possible to get fired at Martin unless you damage equipment. Told your dispatcher off, and he tried some usual BS. You can't do it too much, but I agree with you. Companies, if you're pretty good, you can sometimes, say, can we talk honestly? Okay, well, you're an idiot. That's what we're going to say. So it puts people like you in a bad spot because you have to retrieve the truck, and they don't even get compensated for it. Why would you not be compensated for it? There's the problem. Dwight McQueen, right. You should be compensated for all of your time, no matter what they're doing. Thank you. You're from Indy. Yeah, you're quite welcome. I'm just up the road from you in Lafayette here. James Faust. Oh, that is a good idea. It is time for a blue parrot. And while Bill would say, if you wear it, make it a parrot. Be sure to get a blue parrot today, of course. And don't forget to watch Jay. I always forget to say this. I forget it, but I should remind everybody. He'll be on live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time right here on YouTube talking about the auto transport part of the business. How about that? So... And let's see, we're going to have this go there. Gracie is going to consider watching that show if she can wake up at that time. I don't know if she's going to be able to get up or not, though. It might be a problem for her to do that. She doesn't get up for many things. When you do delete, just change the parameters. Holy mackerel, I'm not doing any deleting. Dwight McQueen, you sit many hours pulling a reefer and you don't get anything. Yeah, you should get something. So maybe time to look around. If you're putting all these hours in unpaid, they're about to add 3 more hours a day to you unpaid. So now what? Add 3 more hours to however long you're sitting unpaid. 17 hours, 3 of them unpaid. No way, right? I hear running a milk taker can really get your career moving. Really? Oh my gosh. Really? Moving. I need another sound effect for that. Creed isn't as good as Newsbound. I like Newsbound because of the guaranteed pay. You have a daily guarantee at Newsbound. That's what I liked about that place. You don't even need to cut a hole if you're willing to clean the filter every couple months. Yikes. I like how some companies are having us subsidize their insurance premiums. They get a better rate for putting a low governor on the truck. We get paid less because we can't drive as far. Yeah, isn't that great? The slower you go, the less you make. I try to explain that to people at Prime when they're going 53 miles an hour or whatever. You can't put as many miles per day on. And so because you're getting paid by the mile, you need to put more miles on. I'm not telling people to go 90 all the time. But if you're in a 70, 65, you should be going the speed limit if it's possible, so you can get the most miles as possible. That's all. James Foster drove a 60, Pete, hauling grain from Lafayette to Tipton. So very similar to this truck, I can assume, right? To each his own, never plan on going anywhere near California. Exactly. That has been a lot of people. A GP respects Newsbound, and they just disappeared off my screen. Here we go. For the way they do business and treat drivers, they have a similar outlook. There's a lot of, I give a lot of companies grief, but there's a lot of good companies on the road out there, certainly. I just like the Newsbound daily guarantee. Quick reading, clock racing, and accidents will go back down. If everybody, Ryan, how about this? If everybody got paid by the hour, I think it would reduce speeding tickets, reduce accidents. Nobody would have to rush around. You're getting paid for all of your time. Watch Duel one night with your father, who was a trucker. He was so mad when the truck went over the cliff. Yeah, that was terrible. We all cried a little bit that day. Rumpelstiltskin, love it. Was a state highway in Pennsylvania, 8%. Wow. Ernesto, the program, go to America's Job Center of California. It's under the WHIA Act. There you go. There's how we do it in California. Get your license for free and then go where you want. Write your own ticket. You can't even get two drivers to agree on how much a free cup of coffee costs. That's the line of the day right there. Sylvester Stallone and Over the Top. But what did he do to the truck? Did he scare it? Did he shoot it with a helicopter? Give it 72 hours. Fair Oaks, great food and ice cream, and an annual stop on the trip. Yes, when going by there, we stopped there all the time. Imagine you could drive there and haul their milk around if you were in the area. It's a drop and hook with a daily pay guarantee. And most of the trucks are natural gas, if that's something that interests you. And I know that you don't get an assigned truck there. When you come in for your route, you just get whatever truck is sitting there. That's what he said. Also, no CB is allowed there. So you cannot, what did he say about it? You can have a CB, no microphone. That's right. You cannot have the microphone on your CB, which I thought was the craziest thing I've heard. Dwight, I agree, but I just need a new job to go to. I have a woman and 3 kids, and we're struggling. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're going to have to leave. When you're not being paid, you can't stay at a place really if there's a lot of unpaid time. You might as well stay at home. You can stay at home and not get paid anything. How about that? I mean, seriously, sitting for free is the same as sitting at home for free. There's nothing better. You're going to have to find a place and bail out of there because you're not going to support your woman, as you said, and 3 kids on no money. That's crazy to not get paid. Your company shouldn't do that to you. Knightswift is firing people. They're laying 56 people off. They're not actually firing them. They're permanently being laid off, as they said in Pennsylvania. Company fires you, truck stop, sell parts to pay for rental car. Well, you shouldn't. That is good, but you should have the money. Everybody should have enough money to get themselves home from anywhere in the country. And if they do fire you, you could leave it there, but I wouldn't do anything to the truck. I would take a bunch of pictures of it, actually, to make sure that somebody didn't do something to it and they say I did it. J. James, Maine is an at-will state. They can let you go anytime without any warning, but they want a 2-week notice if you're leaving them. Very one-sided. Yes, that's most places. They can just let you go, mostly. And they want you to give them a 2-week notice because it's preferred. That's correct. And I agree it's one-sided, and that's why I usually tell people to just find another job and leave. Because if they fire you, they don't give you a 2-week notice. Generally, they go, in 2 weeks, we're going to fire you when you get back in this office. So get your stuff ready. So sometimes it's best to just move on from a place. Is it okay to post your basic info in case an owner-operator sees it on here? You're from Metamora, Indiana. Metamora. I probably wouldn't post too much information on here because it's a public forum. So, where the heck is Metamora, by the way? Don't work for free. Just don't do it. Exactly. So, Horace, the more you work for free, the more the companies work you for free. Just 3 extra hours. You know drivers are going to be sitting around for nothing, and it doesn't make any sense at all. C. Hill is here from Georgia. Hello, Kenneth P. Wait a minute. I get a demerit for being late and Gracie sleeping on the job. Well, she has to take naps during the job because it's kind of difficult to stay awake that long, you know. Wyland is going to listen as you drive to Olympia. Love it. I had one of their beer cans in my collection years ago. C. Hill says, Owida, that's one good way to do it. I would love to be paid by the hour. Yes, that's the way to do it. Where is Metamora? What do you guys know about hail? What does anybody know about hail? Kenneth, what truck did J.T. Walsh drive in the movie Breakdown? I miss going out west, Albuquerque. I'm thankful for my home time. Yeah, you know, you missed seeing the 3 arrows or 2 arrows or whatever. I was like seeing that out there. And the Thing. I don't get to see the Thing anymore and all the stuff that was out there. I agree with you. Oh, he drove an auto car and over the top. Almost to the truck you're picking up. Got to run. Thanks for your help. All right, Dwight, why don't you write to me? And we'll see what we can do for you. You can let me know where you are. And we'll see what's in your area, you know. Or just send me an email. Columbia Gorge, Dwight McQueen, mini tanker job paid by the hour. That's true. There's an hourly job. There's a job better than where you're working near you. My friend is about to quit his company. He wants to go in the fuel tank. I'm trying to talk him out of it. Don't damage the truck. Do not damage the truck. Don't do anything like that. Just give him their truck back legit and shake hands and be gone with it. And really, what is the point of that? Unless he's had a couple gallons to be too diluted to do anything. That's true. In the fuel tank, I don't know what it's going to do anyway. It's not going to help much, so I don't think you want to get any parts around the edge of the fuel tank. I just say no to that. Thanks. You have your tanker endorsement. Yeah, there's somewhere, Brookville on 52 and 30 miles to Cincinnati. Oh, you're way down on that end of the state. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, yeah, write to me. There's a place down there, believe me. Don't stop in Weed, California for fuel, right in Zizix. You have to go down to Zizix over there. It was Pete in Breakdown at 359. Metamoris in Franklin County. Yeah, you're on the other end. Don't work for these Bill Cosby trucking companies. You're going to good. Wait to see that. Good. You're not an hourly rate fan. But I think, Rhino, that it would end the people speeding. It would certainly end speeding. Why would anybody speed on hourly? I mean, if it went to hourly, prime drivers would become the highest paid drivers in the whole country. They would be the best. Nomad Trucker says, no. Why would hourly not be the best way? If you're paid for all of your time, why is that not the best way currently to run it? This mileage plus per diem, plus breakdown, plus detention, plus per box pay, plus all this other pays that they have, these 50 million different ways to pay you. Extra hazmat pay, and then extra pay if it's a Tuesday and the day's an odd number. That's not the best way to do it. I don't think that's a great way to do it. Oh, a Pennsylvania bill would make you remove ice and snow. Now they do this every year, but this year the bill's got some traction. Traction, snow. You would have to remove ice and snow that accumulates on your vehicle. And this is any vehicle, not just semis, but semis are included in it. Or they can pull you over and write your ticket for $75. And if the snow or ice comes off your vehicle and damages another vehicle, it can be $1,500. So this may get some traction. I think one of the state people there in Pennsylvania had their car damaged by some snow or something. $75 may be coming out of your pocket. Now, do you have a ladder that you can get up to the top of the trailer and clean that off of there? You like your percentage pay. Well, that's interesting. Do you get paid on empty miles on percentage now? I mean, I did a flatbed job that was percentage pay, but I didn't get paid to run empty at all. So you do not like Southern California traffic, of course. What if the company annualized the fuel after he took a leak and found marijuana? Why would they do that? That's could they take that off their fuel tax too? He should submit a form for their IFTA if he does that. What happens if you get diesel on your wiener? That is a problem. See, that's not something you're going to want to put in your mouth after that. 359 from Hespera to Weed is a beautiful trip through Mount Shasta, the scenic way, exactly. You drive Southern California at night between 10 and 2. The traffic out there is just terrible. It's clogged full of Teslas running out of juice and everything. Mount Shasta was your first snow chain experience? All right. I do remember that the owner said he would pay me 55 cents per actual mile to run Chicago to California. Yeah, I'm sure. But is this 1099? How are we doing this? How would drivers from the old days handle things compared to modern drivers? Seems like there was more backbone then. Exactly. Here's another truck that I found a picture of. How about this? How about a 1939 Pete 260? All right, there's an early Peterbilt for everybody. 1939 Pete 260. That's really something. That truck, no anything in it. I mean, drivers now wouldn't get in it and have no idea what's going on in that truck. Why can't the steering wheel? Why doesn't it turn right? How do I turn on satellite radio? The empty miles are figured into what you charge. Yeah, see, so you never know. I'd have to make $50 an hour times. Well, because do you own the truck? It just depends. Dwight says 1099. See that? You're being misclassified. That's my opinion. That owner for 55 cents then, that's very good. So 1099 at 55 cents, you can get 55 cents as a company driver. You can get that plus if you have any experience. So with full benefits, like meaning workman's comp and all unemployment and all this. So this owner operator is getting you to work for the same price, for that money without any benefits that he would have to pay. He has to pay those benefits. It doesn't want to. You're kind of getting hosed. If they're going to do the 1099 like that, then you should get the benefit of him not having to buy those things for you, like unemployment and all that. It should be 70 cents, and then maybe we could talk about it, even though I don't like it. That's not a good way to do it, though, because he's hosing you, and you don't have any deductions to take at the end of the year because he owns the truck and everything. He's going to take all the fuel off. I'm not a fan of it at all. It's not a good way to do it. You can get that money and be a company driver. How do drivers like automatics going down steep grades? Yeah, no problem. When you put the Jakes on, it holds its gear, so no problem. And on some of them, they've disabled it on our trucks, but the companies, you can put it in manual mode and it'll hold the gear. Piece mile and stop pay is confusing, but as a company driver, you made $900 for a 480 mile run. All depends on the company. That's true too. I'm saying that your time sitting in traffic, though, would be paid if you got hourly pay. The way they do it now, there's just too many ways, especially at some companies. They have charts and flow charts on how you get bonuses, how to get a 4 cent. You have to have points in this and that. It's just crazy. Have I done a video on dynamic? I do think I did a video on dynamic transit. There was more backbone because they needed it. Yeah, because the seat was bolted to the floor. TJ Jones in the Bull of the Woods. What's going on, Americans? It's good to see you here. Donner Pass was your first chaining experience. Isn't it fun? It's fun in the bad weather. Practice now while you can. Marty, stick your wiener in the diesel nozzle. You don't want to do that, right? Pay phones and paper maps. That was the way it went. You used to have a card. Before, you used to have to just get a crap load of quarters. But then you could get a phone card and punch it all in and make your phone calls that way. America's Trucking Network WWL 700 producer passed away. Oh, Brandon, I didn't know that. I know the Bozo left us some years ago. That's too bad. Mad Mail, do you get $1 a mile after the first 100 miles went empty? That's an interesting way to do it. So all your loads are 99 miles away. I mean, that would stink if it was 99. What would stink more is probably 101 miles, where they give you $1, like a token dollar. That'd be worse yet. First, last name. So before diesel trucks were invented, who was hauling 80,000 up and down mountains? And did those people think they were better off than the truck drivers that came later? Well, everybody thinks they're better off than the people, but diesels have been around for some time. I'm sure this Pete here was a diesel. This 39 Pete Rudolph diesel has had them going for some time. What about the first 100? That's what I'm saying. My first company issued me a roll of quarters. I see what you're saying. Thanks again. Yeah, Dwight, look, you're just being host on it. We could talk about this. Just write to me. No problem. Okay, so for my first job, I worked, as I said, at Economy Transport in Chicago, local. Okay, so I go to truck school local. They would give you 2 $1 bills, would be paper clipped, which I don't have one here. They'd be paper clipped to your bills in the morning because you'd have a bunch of stops on there. 2 $1 bills. Okay, and you'd have to call in during the day. I love this. And so calls were a quarter then from a payphone, and you'd call them and get what you're doing for the rest of the day. So you'd go make some stops and then call them and see if anything came up, make some more stops and call them. At the end of the day, he had wrote down how many calls you made, so he might write 3 down. So you owed him $1.25 at the end of the day, and doggone it, you better have $1.25 to give that guy, or he yelled at you. Was the most incredible thing. And if you did make more calls than that, he would give you the difference. They would give it to you in quarters and count it out to you. Just incredible. People get down to the quarter. 2 $1 bills every day. It would be attached to your paperwork. Big Huge Mike loves old trucks, but just to look at trucks today are better on your body than the older trucks, certainly. I don't want to be 100 over limping when I'm older. It's bad enough when I somewhat limp now. Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough now. The seat's got a button to massage you and all the different buttons and everything. Yeah, years ago, no. Bolted to the floor, right, or not. I had a Mac where it had rusted off the floor and you'd have to hold yourself up. I mean, yes, totally a mess. Al John's 1-800-COLLECT. Yeah, 1-800-PIN-DROP was what I would use. 1-800-PIN-DROP. Remember the Sprint phone card, FON? James Faust, you guys today are better than us old drivers. The ELD is pretty great. I think so. Try running 5 logbooks. Wow. The ELD has its problems. It's far better than going through a case of logbooks a month. Wow. How many miles are you getting over there? I never had more than, I think I would have 3 every once in a while, but generally not more than 2 logbooks. Wow. A case of logbooks. What day is it? Let's see. I would put little dots on the corner of them to remember which one you're using. So, the barbecue trucker. Once a company I was working for let me use the truck and trailer to move to another city. It was horrible loading and unloading our furniture without a ramp. Oh, yeah, I can imagine, right. Nomad trucker, yeah, you hated paper too. I like the ELD. I love it. It's so easy to use. You sign in, drive, and then you're done. And at the end of your day, you sign out of it. How easy is that? You don't have to figure anything out. It knows where you are. It records where you stop. It records everything. No problem. Rumpelstiltskin, a car wreck trying to pass me to construction zone. The lane was ended, and he tried to swing around me. Love it. I slowed down, but he didn't make it. He hit the cones and was fine. Don't play games. I agree. I hope he had a dash cam to take care of that. Years ago, also, Fort Wayne. I remember going up in Fort Wayne. It's all snowing, going up 69. And I'm just cruising along there slow, and some car just flies by me, and then off in the distance up ahead, you can just see this big poof of snow come up. They went right through the median, plow, kablamo, snow everywhere, just like that. Kablamo. That's exactly how it sounded. Been with Marvin Keller for 3 years. Company and owner. They treat you right. Good people. They run ads all the time. So for MK, right. And that's good. When somebody says it, that's even better. What's up, everyone? Oh, no, do they pay more than PAM? I wrote this down, too. Because I saw an ad this weekend, an ad for PAM popped up. So I clicked on it. I'm like, all right, lease purchase at PAM. They said, look, other companies might promise you $1.27. But we don't have to do that because we cover your Qualcomm costs and we cover your trailer costs. So when you lease purchase from us, PAM, we pay $1 a mile plus fuel on loaded miles. All right, $1 for all miles and fuel on loaded miles. Now, I know there's some owners on here. What do you think? Could you make a living at $1 a mile and fuel on loaded miles? Hector, what happens if you stick your wiener in the fuel tank? Oh, fuel gauge is broke. Well, I never thought about that. That's a legitimate way to get to the bottom of the tank, presumably, if you can get down there to see how much fuel's in there. Al doesn't know we did paper logs. I would absolutely be tempted to shave a few hours off a day. Only been driving 2 years, nothing but e-logs. Yeah, and that's what happened. That's why some owners want paper logs still. You can shave time off your day. Here's a minute here, here's 10 minutes there. Pretty soon at the end of the week, you've saved hours and hours off where we should have been paid. And companies, they know it, didn't do anything about it because you're giving them free work. We were giving free work, and it was never a good idea. We shouldn't have done it, and it's what it came out to now. Now companies are all freaked out. They're like, holy mackerel, all this free work, we're not getting anymore. Nomad Trucker, you were expected to. Yeah. James Null, dedicated 3,000 miles. That's pretty good. 2 round trips, drop and hook. Out Sunday noon, back Thursday midnight. You know what you're going to make, know when you'll get home. I think that's the way to do it, especially with the fluctuations in the market. That is certainly the way to do it, I think. Wyland still runs paper logs. On paper, we ran by mileage, not hours. Right. Glad I started driving in the days of cell phones. Automatic transmissions, that's recent. GPS. Look forward to the future of sitting at the Petro and talking crap to all the drivers that are working with autonomous. Oh, yeah, except it'll be empty. It'll be you and a bunch of robots in there. Right? Just you, other robots. Another WD-40 for my friend, please. Bostrom. Oh, right. Was a company that produced truck seats. Armrests and all. No, I think they're long gone. I don't know if Bostrom still does seats. K-Dub, you're fashionably late. I'm stuck with my farm plate, no logbook exemption. Oh, really? Oh, you'll stick with your farm plate. Right. No logbook. You get exempted because of the plate. I love it. Right. Okay, that's too far right. So, because we had somebody asking about Indiana tanker jobs, but they're not by you, though. If you're smart, you can make profit at $1 a mile, but not much. Still more than England or Swift. Well, they did say the truck is only $4.75 a week there. So, and they benefited that. No Qualcomm fee, no trailer fee. So that's what, and they're promoting the $1 a mile. I just didn't. Here's the thing: at $1 a mile, you can make profit. Okay, would you make more than if you drove there as a company driver? I mean, how much profit would you be able to pull out of a truck at $1 a mile at the end of the week as gross profit of that truck? That it comes back to a check to you, where then you then pay taxes. It seems like no more than a company driver, probably less. And you don't get any benefits. You don't get any vacation or holiday pay or anything like that. One time a magician was bearing down, right lane with 500 feet till it ended. He had 3 cones that a 180 and a big puff of smoke when he rammed them all. Great. Best magic you saw in person. He disappeared. The barbecue trucker. I used to walk into the truck stop and look for a table with a phone. And oh yes, and it would say commercial driver area or something. Prepaid phone cards, all that's gone. Just use your blue parrot. Yes, the tables all used to have phones on it. People don't remember. I don't know if any still do. I don't think so. Not much. And you'd go in the back too and make a call. You love the ELD at Rumpelstiltskin. Who wants to sit there doodling for free after rolling 500 miles? Exactly. Park, you're done. It records it. Put it on sleeper or whatever. Done. Simple as that. Luke works at PAM. Oh, that's interesting. You can only survive if you never go home and take home time and rest there with a grill and hot dogs. Do you drive their truck, or are you an owner there, one of these lease purchase that was in an ad this week that I happened to click on? I'd like to know that. We'll be having conversation with Johnny 5 at the Iron Skillet. Yeah, and then, of course, he will kill you. Nomad says 20 to 30 cents a mile, so you're better off than, according to that, you would be better off being a company driver. Because that 30 cents is gross. You have to be taxed on it yet. And you haven't bought insurance or anything. Mad Maldy, your company has good accounts out of Texas. Owners love going down, in and out are generally $2 or more a mile. That's more like it. Now we can make some money, I think. Bostrom is a leading manufacturer of box seats, says Bubba. Wow, Bill, do you think the robots will drink WD-40? There must be a newer thing for them. Oh, well, I thought maybe they might just need it after a hard day of driving to get all stiff and need a little squirt of WD-40. There won't be anything newer for them. It's been around for like 250 years or whatever. I mean, that'll be the only thing. There'll be roaches and WD-40 after the wars. Rhino doesn't like the ELD and doesn't like the reset, losing extra loads because of the 34 hours. Yeah, they talked about eliminating that, and no. They said no. Nomad says your cost is 78 cents a mile, which is high. So that's a real problem. So that's 22 cents left over, especially on empty miles. That's not great. That's less than you'd make as a company driver. You'd have to pay taxes on that, buy insurance, take a vacation, paid holidays. No way. There's some state and U.S. highways in the Northeast at 12%. Yeah, as long as it's not an interstate. Adco's here. Good point on ELD. Usually at $1,600 run each way. That's more like it, right? You can finally make money. At $2 a mile, you can make money. At $1, like this PAM ad, they're saying, oh, you'll make all this money. I don't see how you'd make more than a company driver, even at PAM. I still think you're better off being a company driver right there at PAM than getting $1 a mile. I mean, to run empty, that's crazy money. Sharp for $1 a mile, you have to file for bankruptcy or fool. Yeah, it's not enough money. $1 there's no way. And you got to pay their truck. You're never going home, like we said earlier. You're never going to go home. You're never going to see your family. You can't take any time off. There's just no way. The robots will now just eat. The robots they cook the roller wiener and then eat it. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Oh, I love it. Right. How about AB5 in California? Ended in being an owner-operator. It's ending a lot of owner-operators. Certainly in California and may spread around the country. It was made for Uber and Lyft, but it's spread to trucking as well. These companies, though, they get away with hiring 1099 people that are really not 1099. You can't drive somebody else's truck and claim you're an independent. It doesn't work that way. The IRS is very clear about that you have to have an investment. You have to be able to lose money to be 1099. Lose money. There has to be a loss or gain associated with it. If you don't own the truck, you can't lose any money. You walk out clean, zero, even zero. That's not a loss. A loss is you lose. You start out and you have money less money at the end of it than you started. It doesn't work that way. The companies won't be able to get away with it, and it's going to affect other owner-operators, though. What they're doing, I've seen out there, is making owner-operators get their own authority, and there's basically LLC and then hiring an LLC that would just do business that way. Although that's a big problem, it's much more expensive for the owner-operator. Even if the roaches were killed, the robots can build new ones. That's the thing, too, right? They'll be robot roaches. That's what we need. Luke says, company driver, I would never pay $1,000 a week for that white Pete. My dude is a lease operator and about to be homeless. Only good thing about PAM is they don't micromanage you. Okay. I would never pay $1,000 a week for that white Pete. Yeah, but they're paying $1. What I'm saying there, you're much better off. I think they're much better being a company driver at $1 a mile. You'd come out way ahead. I've hauled for $1 but didn't like it. Yeah, but you wouldn't do that. Every load, I don't think you'd haul for $1. You'd really not like it then when it's every load. I get when it's one load to get somewhere, but every load, I think that's a real problem. Nobody should lease onto a company that has company trucks under any circumstances. Better off saving your money, buying your own truck, and going to 100% owner-operator. I kind of think that, too. I've never been on that end of it. It seems to me that the company would run the company trucks, their own trucks first. They all say they wouldn't do that, but it seems to me you would do that. It just seems like a good business decision. I don't know. My old employer hires from a lot of states, so if someone was interested in a good Indiana tanker job, I'm sure they could get in. Oh, all right. Well, I'll tell him that. He's going to write to me later. Backwoods Northwest, it's all truth. It seems like most people are greedy, know-it-all pigs, and that's why most Americans are broke. That's why these big mega companies come into place and take advantage. People are they sort of get taken advantage of by their own permission, kind of. So if a company can run you 75 in 5.5 to 6 days without a lot of downtime, you're wasting your time. That's a lot of hours. I mean, I'm seeing 70 hours and thinking, holy mackerel. So who wants to work 70 hours in 5 days? That's what I'm thinking. I mean, Bridget, she wouldn't want to work 70 hours in 5 days. This is she'd be like this too. I mean, that's after that's 20 minutes for Gracie right there. 70 hours in 5 days. I mean, that is, sure, you're making money, but that's really rolling. How about you just make better money so you don't have to work so many hours? That's got to be super tiring. Heard a driver at the TA yelling obscenities at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Nice. That kind of conduct is why we're losing respect. Well, that too. I mean, it's the daytime drivers that are the problem. You go in there with the general public. You're in flip-flops or sandals. You have a shirt that you wore for 4 days. You haven't showered in a week. You're yelling obscenities then during the day at the cashier, and you're just being obnoxious in there. Okay, go in like a professional. Treat people like you'd want them to treat you. These people work there. This is the public. Is this how you are in private? I mean, it's crazy. Probably are. But these are the same people then that gripe at the government. Oh, we're not treated well. You should treat us better. And then look at them. And that's not hardly all the drivers. That's a very small percentage of drivers. It only takes one driver going in there to ruin a family's experience in there, and bingo. And then they're thinking all drivers are horrible. Most drivers are not horrible. I shower every month in the wintertime, whether you need it or not. You own your truck Nomad outright. The company you haul for this has company drivers, but the owner-operators get first choice. Company guys get the leftovers. I wonder why that is. I always just thought if they had a mix that they'd move their trucks first so that they can make their truck payment and all that kind of thing. That's what it seemed like to me. I don't know if that's how it works or not. Cash is king. You'll do 70 in 5. That's your goal. That's a lot of working. I mean, that seems like a lot of working. Would you do 70 hours in 5 days in this? That's the question. People used to do hours in this kind of truck. How about that? That is when, as they say, trucking was trucking, when you had to drive that thing all day. Holy moly. There are some people on here that may have driven that kind of truck. That's really something. What do you think about this bill where you're going to have to remove the ice and snow off your truck for $70, or you're going to get a $75 fine? How are we going to get the snow and ice off the top of the truck? Now, OIDA opposes this bill, which is good, which they should oppose, that there's really no way to get the stuff off the top of your truck. There's really no ladder. There's no safe way. When you're that high in the air, I think you have to be hooked up by OIDA or by OSHA because you're so high in the air. I'm not sure. But to say $75 with no way to get the stuff off, how are you supposed to get the ice and stuff off of your truck? It doesn't make any sense. You're just going to get a gigantic kind of scraper. Now, some places have this where you drive underneath it. I've seen these big metal frames and brushes where you can drive underneath it. I guess it sprays hot steam at you or whatever and blows the salt and the snow and everything off your truck. There's only a few of those around, though. It's not like they're in most places. This time it's got a little bit more traction than it has in other years, and it's coming up again. So I think that it may pass this year. Luke was going to do the lease, but looked into it, and the dollar amount is nothing when they give you 1,500 miles a week at a $1,000 weekly payment. Now, I will say their weekly payment, they say, is $475. Okay, that was in their ad. I wrote that down. That they go, look, our payment is lower than other places. It's $475. So are you saying that is not accurate? You're a company driver that can turn loads down. Exactly. If you're getting 1,500 miles a week at $1, you're not going to make any money. But Pam did say $475 a week can put you in a truck there at Pam. So what say you to that? Motorcycles are similar. One bad biker gives the others a bad reputation. Exactly. The families or people on the road see one biker doing something stupid, like doing 100, 120 miles an hour, and then they think it's all motorcyclists, and it's not, right? But it's the same way with drivers. You cannot go around saying I'm a professional and then walk in flip-flops and a wife-beater shirt. Okay, that's not how it dresses as a professional. All loads get hauled. Company makes the same no matter who hauls it. Oh, well, they have to make a difference if you're owning the truck. It's their truck, certainly. James Faust, we did, right. Accidents were probably fun in that cab over. Oh, well, you're way above it. So when somebody hits you, you just shoot straight out the windshield to safety, right over the accident scene, and they find you 175 feet up the road, free of any flames or anything like that. Nomad trucker gets good loads because you could deliver faster. I think there's something to that. At a place, certainly, as it gets a little slower, if you see your place slowing down, they're going to give the loads to the people that can get the loads delivered. So, but you should be a good driver anyway, everywhere you are. Cash is king trucking. You drive a bicycle, deliver freight if it paid right. Well, I'll tell you what, in some cities, Uber Eats is hiring bicycle delivery people. So you may want to check in your area for that kind of thing. Misty says fall protection is required over 6 feet by OSHA. Okay, so now there we go. So how am I going to get on the top of this trailer and have fall protection as well on top of this? I mean, they're writing this, and that was talked about in the article. Oh, well, people don't have OSHA protection. Whatever. How are you supposed to get up there? Now it's against the law, but I'm still going to get pulled over, and it's not legal even for me to get up there. That's just doesn't make any sense at all. I'm going to have to pay $75. It's not a moving violation, and that's how they do it, too. They go, well, it's not a moving violation, so you don't have to worry about it. That's just so that you'll pay the fine and because it would not be worth you fighting $75. It's not a moving violation. With a cab over, you're the first one at the scene of an accident. That's true, but I think you get to overshoot the accident. As the accident happens, you get to be removed from the scene through the magic of just continuing your motion. Newton. Your motion is going to continue forward until acted upon by another force. So that's going to be great. Over 4 feet, you need to be tied off with fall protection. How do I do this at the Petro? Okay, and it snowed overnight. How do I do that? Where I clean this off so I don't want to get this fine because I want to run legal. So what do I do about that? Prodigy, nice. That's a shame. The government keeps trying to overregulate us. We need to bring back the Teamsters. Yes. This kind of stupid thing. So everybody's got to stop. You'd have to log this too. Don't forget that. That's on duty time. Anything you do to your vehicle's on duty. So don't forget, as you're cleaning the snow and that's on duty time. So you hook up some kind of fall protection thing, and maybe you could go to Blue Beacon, have them clean it. I guess that's one way to do it. Luke says $1,000 a week truck and insurance. That I will say that is not what Pam says on the ad, because I clicked it. I go, all right, I'm going to look at this ad. $475 for the truck. It didn't say what the insurance and stuff was. Free Qualcomm, free trailer rental, but truck $475 and $1 a mile. So that is what they're saying in the ad. Marty, I once had to cut through a farm to get to the receiver. Wonder what happened on that end of it. Truck lease and accelerated truck lease and a dispatcher, you make just enough miles to make your truck payment. It can be a problem. I think if you own the truck, you should get to see all the loads and choose which one you want, certainly. But not all companies do it like that. Rumpelstiltskin, back in the day, Pam tried their song and dance on you. Basically, all they offered was cable TV. Nice. Was that Park and View? All right. Who remembers Park and View? Did you get that packet? I bought that $20 packet. Park and View. All right. Who's a Park and View fan? Cash is king. 75 is fine for snow. Sounds like a way for truck stops to make more money. Truck stops could install something to scrape it off for 50. Oh, that's true. I don't know if they will, but yeah, they might have a thing where you get to run through it. Oh, it could be right at the end of the can't scale. How about that? Scale and snow off all at the same time for an extra few bucks or something. Yeah, there's no reason they couldn't do it like that. But it's $75 fine if you are found with snow and ice accumulated on your vehicle and you didn't clean it off. Barbecue truck, remember the video of the cab over driver that hit the bridge guard rail and went through his windshield over the rail and down the swamp? He did survive. Yikes. That seems like a disaster. Well, Bill says no to the Teamsters. Really? You were against the Teamsters? Don't they? I thought they fight for people. Cash is getting out about one of those collapsible aluminum handle pool skimmers to get the snow off the trailer. Wow, it'd be really big and it'd have to bend, right, to get over the top of the trailer. I wondered if there would be a contraption you could hook together that you kind of drive over and your wheels hold it down and it scrapes the top of the trailer. It'd be a disaster. Need industry de-icing. ADCO. Yeah, maybe the trailer could hook something in itself. It's not going through the windshield that hurts. It's coming back in. Well, I mean, as your truck immediately stops and you continue forward, you get to observe the accident like a kind of a human drone over the top of the scene. And then they pick you up front there. New market for Wabash heated trailer roof. That is not a bad idea. That actually is a very good idea. I wonder if they could work that out. The problem is how much power would you need to hook up, lines up there like kind of like a toaster to heat the whole thing. The problem is too many people are in a hurry. They tailgate everybody in the winter right after snowfall. I go out of my way to stay out of the path of the trucks. Oh, yeah. Especially after it snowed and then it starts warming up 30. You're seeing 30, 32, 34. And somebody's got this huge avalanche mound of snow on the back of their trailer. And it's starting to warm up. I'm like, holy crap, that is coming off. Or you're looking at them and they're going, the bridge ahead says 13.9 or 13.10 and they're flying under it. Oh my gosh. Just wanted to pop in and round and round Brown. Say hi. I haven't had time to catch the live show in the last few weeks. Well, thanks for being here, but I always catch replays. Thanks for the information. Well, I thank you for being here and catching on the replay. Thanks for popping in. How much can you trust the ads, ADCO? Well, that's the thing of it. They're saying $475. Their payment must be $475 because when you call them, I guess they could say, we don't have any of those trucks for $475, but we have some of these $750 trucks. I mean, that and their mileage pay $1. I mean, it's not like they're upping their money. They're saying $1 a mile. So it's not like it's super great money. That's what my buddy just paid yesterday for the Pete. Really? What year is the Pete for $1,000? And how much of it is that truck payment? Shout out to all the lady truck drivers. Yo, what's up, my ladies? Last couple months, I've seen more at the fuel line in 20 years. Yeah, I talked about this a while ago that women are being drawn to trucking. It's up to 7% now, which is more than it ever has been. They said it's due to companies are doing a better job of recruiting and the trucks are automatics. They're easier to drive. There's less work involved in it. So more women are coming and more teaming as well. You get a lot of teams, husband and wife teams or whatever. So yeah, it's a job for women. It can bring you out of poverty for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, right? brings you out of poverty to a living amount of money where you can make a living, support your family, all that. Absolutely. It's a good job for women and men. You know, women think, I'm not going to be gone. You got kids or whatever. Look, go trucking and go to like one of these places, maybe Yellow, that is a doctor driver. You never have to be gone. It's a regular job like any other job, but you can make money. The fall off the cliff never hurts. It's the abrupt stop at the end. AZ, I'd bill my company the $75 fine. They'll reimburse or else. I wonder if companies would pay for that. Oh, they'll probably say, no, you are required to keep your truck legal. That'd be part of your pre-trip. Oh, that's interesting. All right, there's the solution. They say, all right, well, during my pre-trip, I found a problem, and I can't drive the vehicle until it's corrected. That's how you do it. James Gazillo from the Bay Ridge in Brooklyn. What's up with your thin pizza? Hey, it's good to see you here today. Going to get some snow out there, I see. Drove a lot of cab-overs, never worried about an accident. Well, they were all cab-overs then, right? So you'd hit and you'd just both crash through the window, go through your window. You're in his passenger seat. They're in your passenger seat when you hit head on. Because when that truck came out, it was cab over city, right? That's what it was. Everybody, basically almost everybody was in a cab over due to length laws and stuff like that, which they have eliminated now. Kenneth B. Yeah, right. Go to the Blue Beacon. A sheet of ice goes through somebody's windshield on the way over there. That makes sense. They did say that you were exempt from the fine if you were on your way to getting the snow or ice removed. They did say that. Now, I don't know what. I guess you would just say, oh, I'm on my way to get the snow and ice removed. But that is part of it, that if you're on your way to a place to remove the ice and snow, that the fine does not apply to you. Wow, Bill. Yeah, look, I thought they help everybody. That's what I'm saying. Wyland, over here in the Northwest, they have trailer scrapers that have rubber flappers on the bottom. Really? Send a picture of one of those if you ever see it. And does it do a good job? Because that ice can get pretty compacted up there. So a trailer sits out a couple days somewhere. It melts, freeze, melt, freeze. It's a big block of ice up there. So which company is better to work for, Knight or Swift? Part of it depends on where you live. And I always tell people get someplace where you live because they're more likely to get you home if they have a gigantic terminal there. That's the very first thing. Who's closer to your house, really? Actually saw a pretty female trucker. The fuel line had to take a picture. Yikes. That's not creepy at all. Hey, what's going on over there? That's kind of creepy. We're just doing the sneaky picture thing. Oh, my gosh. Kenneth, when I worked inside a warehouse, I was a member of the Teamsters. They were garbage. They didn't do anything for the worker. Really? They fight hard for their workers. I know people that are in the Teamsters, and they say, Teamsters fight hard for us. That's what they say. They wear shirts. The workers wear shirts that say, America works best when they say union yes. I've seen them. Luke, my dad's trying to get me to go for per diem. I don't know what to think. Why does your dad want you to have per diem? As a matter of fact, does your dad drive a truck too? If my wife wanted to, I would team with her, but she wouldn't want to take the pay cut. She's a nurse. Oh, right. Yeah, so she may want to stay home and be a nurse. I totally agree with you. Especially an RN or whatever, it's probably do a little better than a driver. 2019. Oh, that's all they have available. $1,000 for the bundle. Oh, so it is a bait and switch. That ad was yesterday. $475 a week. It says in the ad. So that's a total bait and switch. You need to go find that ad and run that by them. Oh, this is all we have. The ad says $475 a week. Well, Bill, a woman that could double clutch could make me do anything. Wow. Yes, that is something. Yeah, that was the problem, right? Women didn't want to do it, and I kind of agree with them. But now it's much easier to drive, as we know, so more women are doing it. And a lot of it does come down to teaming. And look, if you're a husband and wife team that's struggling, the two of you are working in a warehouse or something somewhere, the two of you sell everything and move into a truck for a while. Don't have any kind of obligations. How much money? You could make $200,000, $150,000, $200,000 for teams. Nice. Let it rain detention when it goes to 17 hours a day. Yeah, the problem is it's not going to rain. It's going to rain detention, but it's not going to rain any pay. You're not going to get rained on with dollar bills. There's not going to be dollar bills, y'all. It's going to be no bills. And so the shippers then after that, keep this in mind too. So after that, then they're not going to let you park there. Now you've been up 17 hours and they go, you got to leave. And so now you're going to drive even farther on personal conveyance legally to the nearest safe legal parking place and not get paid for that either. All that. Now we're at 18 hours before you finally go to bed. And that is supposed to be safer? How is that safer? They have the trailer scrapers and icebreakers to break the ice off the top. Oh, I'd love to see that. Go to the airport and get de-iced? Yeah, you could get a sprayer or something, right? Wild Bill says stop at Teamsters. No, America works best when they say union yes. I'm pro-union. We need all the help we can get. The only way to get anything done at a large company or anything is to stick together. If one person quits, nobody cares. If you all walk off, they take notice. Your dad and you drive for the same company. All right. And one's on per diem and one isn't. That's pretty interesting. What does he say the benefit of per diem is? What is the benefit versus, Knight and Swift are both in Oklahoma City. Well, now we got to talk to them. Now you got to find out what you want. So if they're both by you, what do you want? How often do you want to be home? What do you want to do? Where do you want to run? That kind of thing. And you're going to have to call them on my website, truckinganswersnation.com. There's one of the pages is questions to ask a company. And you can look through those questions and figure out which ones pertain to you and ask each company the exact same question so you can get the exact same answer from them and see which one is going to be a better fit for you. Like if insurance doesn't matter, then that may not matter. Home time, it all depends on you. Get the questions and ask both of them the exact same questions so you can compare answers. Your daughter, Alan, your daughter works for Swift and miles seem to be slowing down. We just heard earlier that they're not hiring over the road in some areas, which I think is interesting. Morning chocolate breath, that's something. If you says if you team with your wife, you would have something in there such as divorce pay 24/7 with your wife. Some people like being with their wife. Imagine that. There are some people that don't mind being with their wife. That's why they got married. The barbecue trucker report on women truck drivers say that most work harder and safer because they're trying to fit into a male profession, but stated that they have longer wait times. Yeah, I saw they had longer wait times. Why? Did you read that? Because they don't go in and demand to get out of the shipper and receiver. They're nicer about it. So, and they said the people, because they studied that, I read that, the people that go in there and basically give them grief about it, hey, I'm still sitting here or whatever, they get them out sooner. So even though it seems like you're being a pain, you're going to leave a place faster. Cash is King Trucking. I hope that was a mental picture, not an actual picture of the girl at the fuel line. Yeah, I mean, is that creep? That's kind of creep city. You can't be taking unsolicited pictures of people on the fuel line. Hey, did you walk up and say you're kind of pretty too? That's kind of weird. It'd be safer because no racing to get the parking spots. Well, certainly on hourly, I think there wouldn't be as much problem with finding parking, anything like that. Because you're going to be parking, because you got paid for your entire day. You're not going to think, man, I got to get my last mile out of this place. That's what I think. Now, I haven't found a better solution to all this stuff yet. E. Davis, you're quite welcome. Yeah, write to me. We can talk about what's going on there and there too. A Hobby Lobby, I think, is one in Oklahoma City also. Check them out, aren't they? They're headquartered in... I think they're headquartered in Oklahoma City, if I remember right. So they're going to have a large fleet down there and everything. Absolutely. Because you got to find a place that works out for you, not just, whoever's advertising, whatever. It's got to fit into your lifestyle. It may not be one of these big places, may not be the right place for you. Did you see the box truck? I should have had a picture of it. That hit a 10-foot 8-inch bridge, 10.9. Where was it? Okay. And they said that the driver hit the bridge, and I don't understand this, because of a language barrier. This is what the police said. There was a language barrier. The driver of the box truck only spoke Arabic. So now I did see a picture of the box truck, and it did not look like a CDL size truck. But how do you survive in the country driving around without being able to speak language? Meaning, how would you pass even to get a driver's license if you don't speak any English at all? They actually had to call the person's dispatcher. They talked about this and get him to translate for this driver. That's not a great idea. Hey, for Eva Young. Hey there, what's going on? It's good to see you. Yes, from my understanding, they are team only at Hobby Lobby. Really? I didn't realize that. I didn't know they teamed only at Hobby Lobby. Roger Penske, is that Cassius Kling? Nice. King. 17 hours a day and lots of personal conveyance time to get your cowboy hat out of storage because it's fixing to be the Wild West out here. All it's going to do, there'll just be more of unpaid time, and it will reduce pressure on the industry to hire more drivers. Because now instead of you doing 14 hours a day, you can do 17 hours a day. That's huge. That's over a 20% increase in your day. So now you can increase the amount of time that you work. That reduces pressure on the industry and reduces everybody's pay. The pay increases will slow down. There's less need for more drivers. It reduces pressure on the industry. It doesn't do us any good, and it doesn't make anybody any safer. Having people up 17 hours driving is not the super safest thing to do in the whole world, certainly. Maybe I do go Dollar General. Oh, is there? That's where they're private. That's what I was thinking. They have a private fleet, which I did a video about them. They're out there as well. GP Transco, have a great day. We got to go interview people for the safety department. Thank you. And thank you for being here today, coming back in. It's good to see you, GP Transco. And people that want some information about a good company in the Midwest, right? And they go everywhere. Okay, so GP Transco. And that's a place for you to call too. So instead of calling the Hobby Lobby fleet, give GP Transco a call right here. Check them out online and see what they can do for you. How about that? Get in a teal truck. It'll look good on you. How about that? You can use that, no charge. Our teal's going to look good on you. Jeanette, I've had 2 guys come over and take my picture. I called the dog up and put his rear to the window. I think Gracie would approve. Really? You had people come up and take your picture? Is that creepy? I mean, don't you feel super creeped out by that? What? I mean, you can't creep up on somebody and take their picture. I mean, you never seen a woman before? Did these people just get out of jail? I've been in jail the last 36 years. I never seen nobody. Come on. People just trying to do their job. Let people do their job. Take their picture. How creepy is that? The only solution to the parking problem is to build more safe places. That is one solution that would help. Say put in, 50,000 more parking spots. Yeah, that's a real great idea. There's no plans on doing that, by the way. Of all the things that the FMCSA talks about, that's not on the plan. They're going to do some studies next year. That's it. Ruben, how am I doing? Doing wonderful today. It's an awesome day to be alive. Lawrence, new guy who failed CDL test before he even took it. Wow. Get one at Love for $20. Al Johns, new people, don't let drivers lie to you. You don't have to run over the road when you're new, especially if you live near a hub. Yeah, if you live near a large city, you don't ever have to be gone anymore in a truck. You can be home every day like a regular job, and that's it. It can work for anybody who's thinking, I don't know, I have kids or at night or I have this other obligations. You can be home every day. Unless you live in East Armpit, Iowa, you can be home every day. Yeah, Cassius King, exactly. I mean, come on, is that not super creepy? Hey, what you doing over there? Oh my gosh. I just feel so bad for women. You have to go out and have weirdos taking your picture every day? Come on. Rumpelstiltskin, I'm not working 17 hours. You're not an indentured servant. You'd rather go back to warehousing. At least you're home every day. 17 hours is crazy, and they're just going to expect now that you'll sit for 3 hours because, hey, you can do it. You take picture of people's dogs, that's different. I mean, cat and dog pictures, certainly. Kenneth, you would take my picture. I'm famous. Oh, I don't know about being famous. So I appreciate it. The first person that takes my picture, that would be really something, right? Ivan, everyone hold on to your logs. That last recruiter I spoke to claimed that trucking companies are only required to store 10 years of driver records. Okay, do you need your logs beyond 10 years? I mean, I certainly don't have any 10, 12-year-old logbooks. FYI, Maverick also has that sleep apnea test like Schneider. Do they do everybody at Maverick on the sleep apnea thing? Nomad, you won't even work 14, so no worries on 17. Yeah, look, everybody. If you got paid more, you wouldn't have to work 14 hours a day. It still drags on people. It's a long day. I don't like working that kind of hours, and personally, I don't work those hours every day, although I do know people that do work them. That's way too long of a day, right? Make more, and so you can work less. Jeanette, creepy for sure. One guy call my company and pretend to be a relative. Wow. Company gave him your number. Oh my God, companies, you can't hand out phone. You got to call the company, which I'm sure you did, and said, never give my number out to any creepy weirdo that calls. Wow. I would have changed my number too. Holy crap. This is turning into something like super creepy now. The picture, it went way beyond the picture. I would look in my, see if anybody's sitting by my car. That is super weird. I mean, and you shouldn't have to tolerate that. You're at work like everybody else. Why can't somebody just go do their job? Oh my gosh. ECM computer broke down in South Carolina going to Jersey. Yikes. Made it back without lights. Wow. Running daytime, nothing was working, even wiper blades. Wow. Hopefully that's an easy plug and play repair. James Faust, got to go later. Thank you for being here today. It's good to see you. Bridget was happy to see you as well. So that's good. And I hope that your cracker box, you could remember that cracker box. That's really something, isn't it? Those wheels are just something. The wheels. Nobody remembers the wheels. Nobody remembers Park and View either. Am I the only one that remembers Park and View? E. Davis says every new driver. Yeah, I don't like that then. I wonder when they started that stuff. That should be between you. Your apnea test should be between you and your doctor. Whatever medical condition you have, no matter what it is, it's between you and your doctor. And if your doctor writes a note that says this person qualifies to take the physical, then you pass the rest of the physical. That should be the end of it. Sleep apnea, just because you're a certain size, it doesn't mean anything. And now they're testing everybody. That's even more ridiculous. That doesn't prove anything. Maverick requires the testing if your neck is 17 inches. Yeah, that's crazy. What does that prove? Schwarzenegger's bigger than that, as I always bring up. Would he also have to go for it? I guess he would. Because your neck is a certain size doesn't mean you don't sleep. I got an 89 last night on my sleep score. How about that? So, Kenneth would settle for a picture of Gracie. Yeah, that would be better. Well, Bill, no one takes your pic. Well, no one's taking my picture either, walking around, so we're even. They would take a picture of a union shirt, certainly. Stay out of IT or financial consulting. 24 to 48 stretches with no sleep on the job. Forget that. Working stinks. 48 hours. You might as well be gone. Rumpelstiltskin, appreciate what you do. Got to grab some sleep for the graveyard. All right. Yeah, me too. Graveyard shift, sort of. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Barbecue Trucker remembers Park and View, the only other one to remember it. James Faust had Park and View. Oh, so you bought the thing. I bought that. It was $20. Used to go in the truck stop. For $20, you bought a Park and View kit. And it came with a cord, like a cable, like your current cable system in your house, a phone cord, and these are long cords, they're like 75 feet long, and a phone, a slimline phone, if I remember right. Right. And so you would plug all this stuff in, and then you'd sign up. Well, I don't remember. It seems like you had to call somebody on that phone to sign up that spot. The spot was on the ground. It was put in the ground at the truck stop in the back of your trailer. So you'd park next to it, and you'd screw the line in and run that cord through your passenger window or through your side door. And then you could plug your TV in. You had cable. You had a phone line that plugged into like a slimline phone, which you kept. And then in the morning, you'd sign out of it. It seems like you'd unscrew everything. You'd have to go back there. I don't know how many people probably didn't do that. And their TVs went flying out of their passenger windows. Park and View, and the N just had an asterisk. Very clever, right? Don't forget your gauntlets and shield cash. Oh, you can't forget that stuff. Thanks, James Faust. Do you think trucks can ever get better gas mileage per diesel? Per diesel gallon? Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm doing 9 miles to the gallon in my truck in the last 100 and some thousand. I just looked at it. I reset it a long time ago to see what it would do. Yeah, so they can do really good. They'll get in the double digits, no problem. Meaning if you've been a licensed professional for more than 10 years, trucking companies will try to hire you at cents per mile based on only your last 10 years, unless you could prove more. Well, if they didn't you can prove it from your DMV report. It shows how long you've had your CDL, presumably. But, you just, if you have more than 10 years experience and some company is trying to hose you on the mileage, you can just call somebody else. How about that? So you go, okay, well, if you're not going to hire me at more money, I'll just call somebody else. So it's not like you would have a problem, making another call, certainly. Kenneth, another great show. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that and coming in. Maybe we'll get a picture together sometime. Rhino remembers it. That's good. Steel Horse is going to Iowa tomorrow night. Will you be in East Armpit out there? CPAP scam, sell you $1,000 breathing machine. I think so. Some of these companies they're in on it. Somehow Schneider, there's no way to prove it yet. Somehow there's a deal they got going with it because they're one of the biggest ones. Adco's in Des Moines. The barbecue trucker stretching out a cable to hook up TV and phone. Right. You had to hope the spot wasn't torn up due being run over. Right. And those little nubs stayed in the ground for the longest time. Half of them didn't work right. You'd have to go move, and the cords were running alongside of your truck. Oh, yeah. Jeanette called those humps camel turds. Oh, I never had a name for them. That's really good. Did you have Park and View also? Did you go in and buy the Park and View setup thing? You're going to Council Bluffs. That's close enough. Red Monkey Trucking is here. It's good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Good vibes. Anyone working for Dutch Made? Oh, interesting. Steel Horse, should we use our points for the medieval helmet or the shield? Both. I mean, get them both. You got to have both. You can't have one without the other one. Do you like long hoods or curb sniffers? I like the ones that currently the ones they give me, but I was never a fan of long hoods. I've had some W900Ls and stuff. I'm just never a fan of them. They block too much of your vision. I'm always a fan of something that can be parked. So I'm not a huge fan of the long nose. I know that a lot of people like them. They seem to look better, but you can't see anything out of them. Nomad never did Park and View. You also backed into idler spots. Oh, so you're that guy. You're that driver who backs in the spots. I did Idle Air. I love Idle Air. I had bought the Platinum, upgraded to the Platinum part or whatever it was for the better one. Much better. I loved it. Anywhere that had it, I would plan my day out around it. I mean, it's so convenient. It's so good. You had all your cable channels, this thing put in your passenger window of your truck. If you don't remember, you got an adapter for your truck, which you had to pay for. And then this big yellow thing plugged in that window, and you had air conditioning, heat. There were plugs in there. There was a plug on the outside to plug your block heater into your truck. You had 120 inside the truck and cable channels. Oh, I loved it. I loved Idle Air. Are you going to Carroll, Iowa? That's a suburb, I think, of East Armpit. Texas Trader, that's the best part about trucking. Just call another company. Yeah, look, if you're being hosed and you have 10 years plus experience, just call the next place. Go, look, I got tons of experience, so we're either going to talk or I'm going to go somewhere else. And they know you can do that too. So I think you have a lot more negotiating room. And look, I don't have logs. I don't have This is E-log. I don't have any of these logs. So I just go based on, if I was going to go somewhere, I'd have to just tell them. And so I don't know. I should go try it sometime. Anyone remember Inside Air? Misty. What is I don't remember Inside Air. I'm kind of half a hand of good companies you work for. There's not a super lot. Cash is king. The medieval helmet is definitely worth the money. Well, I do. A lot of your videos, you're wearing it. So that is true too. And you did say you wear it a lot off duty as well because, you never know. You never know. Roger Penske has lunch with mom. Your mom is there having lunch with you? That's super good. You meant Idle Air. Yeah, I was a huge fan. I loved it. Idle Air was $50 for 24 hours, Hoff? No, it wasn't. It seems like it was $1 something an hour, right? How often did I use it? Nearly every day. Any day I could find it, I would plug into it, certainly overnight. So, you're $10, $12 overnight, $15. Didn't Idle Air have internet? It does, but I never used it for its internet. Who remembers AOL? I still have some discs around here somewhere that they used to send. If someone walks in front of a long-nose truck, you can't see him. That's the thing. You can't see me. Steel Horse can't see me. Yeah, exactly. Where are you? Hello. That was always my problem. You can't back them in anywhere. Sure, they look great, but, it's way longer than it needs to be. It does. A truck, you can put that same engine in a truck that's shorter in stature and get the same kind of performance out of it with better mileage, really. And it's easier to drive. And that's the whole thing. I'm trying to do my job. So if every time you back in, it just takes you an extra 2 minutes or 1 minute, consider that over a year. How many times you back in over a year? That's all extra time that you could have for another load. You probably could do an entire another load because of that truck over a year's time, minute by minute. It matters. That kind of stuff matters. As a company driver, I don't get a lot of choice. They don't give you a choice here. We basically run almost all the same kind of truck anyway because they're cheap. They might just buy cheap ones, not like some companies that give you the option to go wherever you want, certainly. We now have Netflix, Hulu, and PS4. Yeah, well, I don't have any of that in this truck. I never brought a game thing or anything in the truck. AOL is still charging dead people for that service. Never sign up to auto pay. Oh, right. Facebook said, in 2020, in the 2020, sometime then, there'll be more dead people on Facebook than are alive, which I thought was pretty interesting. Mark of Excellence likes the look of a long nose, but you would never want to drive one. Exactly. I mean, they look good while somebody else is driving it, but it's just too big. Driving the thing around, you see the gigantic hood out there, but that's not road that you're seeing. It's not as safe, I don't think, as being able to actually see what you're doing. I want to use a hay spear as a deer guard. Venison shish kebab. That might work actually in some states. I want a wildlife bumper with spikes, then they'll just get stuck on there. I drove a Kenworth. You drove a Kenworth that had a long nose, but it was aerodynamic, and the driver's view was 100% better. Some of the new Pete's in that too. They're trying to keep the long nose look, but still get you better fuel mileage. It depends. Cassius King has 1 million free hours of AOL if anyone needs a disc. Yeah, each one, if you don't remember, you used to get so many hours free because you paid by the hour for these services to get on the internet in the early internet, which was like 20 years ago, not that long ago. Al Johns, your Volvos have hand crank windows. Only when we switched over to these new Cascadia bodies did both windows become power. And we had passenger window was power and driver was crank on them. And I think that's because they're standard with power windows. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have got that either. So, yeah, and the Columbias that we had before that, both windows were crank windows. Long nose, puny windows and doors. Yeah, how dumb. You can't see anything. They look great. Adco likes the long hook, the look of it, right. I mean, here's a long hooded truck also right here. How about this, right? Here's the beginnings of this kind of stuff right here. The 63 Pete. And they went even back before that, to a 39 Pete. Pete always put that kind of stuff out. But you can't see anything. You're much better off, I think, with a truck that you can at least see something so that it's safer. I'm trying to be safe. That's a Pete Kenworth at daylight windows. Oh, nice. Long nose trucks made you a better backer. That's an interesting way to look at it, I guess. That's another way to look at it, that because it's harder to do to start with, now you're a better backer. That's interesting. That's pretty good. Maybe I always thought that because I had a local job to start with, that I got better at backing faster because I basically had to. First job, 10, 12 stops a day, you have no choice. I could still hear that internet dial-up sound. Yes. Used to do that. I would put the phone in the thing and dial it up. Absolutely. Cat lift research. Just bring back cabovers. We're about there anyway. Don't like a hood? Drive one before you make the decision. Most naysayers have never sat in one. I drove a W900L for years, and I was not a fan of it. It was hard to see. You're like trying to see everything. Personally, wasn't a fan of it. Need 7-inch wipers on that hood. Great in snow. Right. But it's just the little tiny wipers, too. This truck now is like 26-inch wipers on it. You're supposed to be looking further up the road. Well, that's all you can see. We had these mirrors way out in the corner that were like fisheye mirrors. You could see what's in front of you too. You hate paying $20 for a 7-inch wiper blade. Oh, well, now the wipers are more than that, right? The wipers on the wife's car are like $30 a piece. So Matt Hatter, long nose trucks look cool, especially with the long gear shifter with the skull head. Oh, the bigger the gear shifter, you can put the gear shift up here, way above the windshield even. Above the top, up, that's the best way. Shift them way up here. I see people driving these. I'm like, that's got to be kind of inconvenient in the traffic. Who wants to have your arm up here for hours where you're going through traffic? I don't know. People do it. Jesse's going to leave U.S. Express and going to GP Transco. Hope the move is worth it. Love the show and thank you for what I do. Thank you. And let me know if it's worth it, okay? Anybody that goes over, GP's been very good here on the show and in emails and everything. So let me know how it goes over there. Just saw cattle drive cowboys now use four-wheelers. Mark of Excellence. The W9 is a truck that made me want to be a trucker. I sat in one as a kid and loved it. It was beautiful. They're nice. Look, it's a nice truck. Super nice inside. Absolutely. But you just couldn't see anything compared to the new truck. And it didn't get any fuel mileage compared to the new truck. Michael says Swift is laying off. Swift Logistics, which is part of Swift Night Incorporated, is laying 56 people off in Pennsylvania. And they did follow the WARN Act, the Worker Adjustment, Retraining, and Notification Act, which requires 60-day notice. They'll be laying these people off on December 31st. They said it's a permanent layoff, which I love, meaning you're fired. But yeah, they're laying 56 people off. They said due to business situations, they're just not going to be what it used to be there. So yeah, I was surprised. And we've had some people on here saying that in certain cities, Swift is not hiring over-the-road drivers at the moment, that they have enough of them. So I think that's interesting too. D-Boy611 always took an Xbox 360 over the road. Optimize idle, love it. Would kick on and lose progress in the game. Oh, because you fired up the power to it? Oh my gosh. You probably didn't have any way to turn off the optimize idle, which is horrible. I think people that don't know optimize idle is the way the truck keeps the temperature inside the truck. There's a thermometer, and the truck turns itself on and off throughout the day or night to maintain the interior temperature. And so it runs up the RPM to like 4,100 RPMs for 10 minutes and turns itself back off. Love it. Philip Margrave, I just got your CDL from a community college. Good. Currently driving a straight truck for Lowe's. I love it. On the wait list for Mavericks Regional. Any advice? Well, apparently you're going to have to take a sleep apnea test. So Maverick has a guarantee. I've always liked the place. So I guess hang out and wait for them. I do know there's like a long waiting list for them. Maybe call, while you're waiting, call around. It's worth calling to see if you can get a better deal. That's well worth it. I want the shorter Hurst shifter. Yeah, something a little shorter than the one you've seen them all up here, way up here. Crazy. Barbecue Trucker is taking off. Thank you. Yeah, you got to get the wieners ready for Joe before the evening rush. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Wyland has a tall shifter. But, I mean, isn't it inconvenient in traffic? I don't know. Nomad says, check your straps. Cassius King got used to sleeping in a truck with optimized idle, so now I have to have someone come and kick the bed every couple hours when you're sleeping. Yeah, isn't that the thing? You could just park next to Crete used to have a lot of these. I don't know if they still do. Park next to somebody with optimized idle. I was never a fan. The whole truck would shake because the truck is starting and then it turns itself back off. I didn't think it was a good solution to saving fuel because as soon as it started, it would run the RPMs up on it. Backwoods, I think a nose is safer in the case of a crash, especially head-on. Pete and Kenworth saved a lot of lives. Maybe. Back then, it probably was. I'd say probably now the technology is that the engine goes down underneath the compartment. It's all computerized and everything. Probably the new trucks are safer than those old trucks, certainly. I mean, like this one. 1930, this one, no crash protection, even though it has a long nose. You wouldn't want to be in that one in an accident. The metal dashboard and no seatbelts. Where do we buy swag? You can get swag at Teespring. Look up Trucking Answers. How about that? I don't mention that much, but thank you for asking. There is a Teespring t-shirt store. U.S. Postal Service still use cab over day cabs. Wow. Optimized idle still a thing. No way would you buy one, really. I haven't seen it on a truck in a while. Swift is not hiring. That can only be a good thing. Yeah, maybe the people that aren't going to get hired it's going to only help them. I doubt Swift laid off drivers will get unemployment because they can get a new job. I think that certainly, since they're getting notice, they have till December 31st. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't have found a job by December 31st if you're a driver with a decent record. You have 2 months. You can start making calls and say, at the beginning of the year, I'm ready to go to work for you. I do think that the drivers will get a job. It's just the idea that they're laying people off. It's a big place, to start laying people off. I rigged the pedal, about to do it now for PS4. There's an answer for D-Boy611. Mark of excellence. Hopefully Maverick doesn't blow you off like they did to the one guy and me. They've been pretty bad about getting back to people, so keep in touch with them, but always keep calling around. Maybe you find a place that does way better. Who knows? Can you sleep comfortably in a mid-size sleeper? Those that are shorter but a condo but longer than a day cab? Absolutely. I mean, holy mackerel, where'd this cracker box go? Okay, I had a truck, not a cab over like this, but my first sleeper was the size not and much bigger than this, 36-inch sit-in sleeper. So it was as top high as your head when you're sitting down. Okay, so the trucks now, absolutely, you can sleep comfortably in a mid-sized truck. Compared to certainly what it's been. Absolutely. I would say TMC trucks are the happy medium. Maybe. Some of the Volvos have airbags. Yeah, you can get a Volvo and a Freightliner too. It's an option in them. Most companies don't do them, but you can get them. Little shacks, big stacks. That's true. You know, the W900 had stacks behind right here too, in front of the sleeper and behind the doors, which I thought was really, really loud. I didn't like it. Noosebomb runs optimized idle. All right, well, there's somebody. Get in it, and like Cassius King said, you will get used to it, but at home he has to have his wife kick the bed every 2 hours. So Nomad has a tall shift or more leverage to shove it in gear. I've seen them, though, beyond the top of the windshield. And that's got to be inconvenient. In traffic all day, oh my gosh. 2009 Cascadia has it, but I'm a company that cut the optimized idle. Good. Swift uses optimized idle. Really? It's coming back. Why is it coming back? Because it's cheaper than an APU, probably. They'll retrofit it. You saw it where they'll retrofit it. There's no reason it couldn't retrofit to any truck that has a computer in it, I would think. Because I just think it's some kind of, you put the thing in the back in the sleeper and upgrade the computer, and you could get optimized idle. It's not great, and it isn't great for your neighbor either. Especially if it's some owner that's got their windows open, then your truck fires itself up 15 times a night to go to 6,000 RPM. I don't think so. I have an EPU with auto start if batteries get low. I've only had the auto start kick on one time after 12 hours of running the air conditioner full blast. So you have an EPU. So you have one of the green ones. I'd like to see how that works, right? Like a real boy, Maverick went through hiring freeze. I don't know if they're still doing that, but I waited 2 months. But it's worth the wait. So are you getting the guarantee there? It's real boy. Do they still have the guarantee available, Maverick? That's always been one of the things I like there, a guarantee. The question of the century is here from Ruben. Are you going to bring back any more videos about things to consider? Yes. In a disguised way, yes, absolutely. High-speed chicken feed is a trucker saying, yeah, we could go through sayings at some point. Exactly, right. Wonder what Bridget would think about sayings. Certainly, we don't know. As I get ready to head out of the show, what else is going on out there? And we will head out onto the big interstate of life as we go. This $1 a mile for PAM, what do I think about that? Does anyone use a CB? Yeah, absolutely. You got to have a CB. Now, some companies don't even allow it, but yeah, you should run a CB in the truck if you have one. Certainly, you can get them for what, $30. You can use your points to get one if that's how you want to do it. Absolutely. In traffic, especially in the wintertime, very very helpful in the wintertime. You can see what people are saying. Run Google Maps. I also run Google Maps as well. I think that's a good way to do it. Here, people are saying yes, they use the CB. I think it's the way to go. It's the only way to talk to all these other drivers. But in the truck stop, apparently you have to turn it off. They probably communicate about who they want to take a picture of too, which is even creepier thinking about it like that. Hey, I heard there's somebody up there you should go take a picture of. I mean, I'm just creeped out. I'm just super creeped out by that. You almost have to walk around. I think you're going to have to walk around like two pit bulls or something to get people away from you. We have a Galaxy. Nice. Barbecue Trucker's been waiting on Maverick to a preview since August. It says pending. And they do have the guarantee. That's the thing about it. I mean, a guarantee, especially if it slows down, that guarantee could save your butt, right? So it gets slow. They give you 1,000 miles. They also give you $1,000. That's not bad. That's what a PAM lease operator would make. Big Huge Mike, be safe as always. You try to catch the next one and you oversleep a lot. That's all right. Hey, everybody, sleep is way more important than listening to me because I want everybody to be safe out there, certainly. Mark of Excellence, thanks for a great show. Thank you for being here, me and my Chevrolet Sonic. Appreciate you coming in. And so Bridget says, thank you, everybody, also for coming in. But I do want to say, be sure to get a blue parrot always. If you wear it, make it a parrot. How about that? Because I think they're the best headset going, really. And, of course, take a check at GP Transco. You need a job in the area? Check out GP Transco. Give them a call. They'll answer your questions. They're very good about it. Check out Jay at Auto Transport Intel at 8 p.m. Get some business coaching if you want to start auto hauling business. They'll be happy to talk to you about that. How about all that? I'm doing better at clicking. I'm not losing my place as much. That's good, Mark. It's been years, so you should be. Optimized idle is EPU batteries should last 8 hours. The batteries, yeah. What about a 34-hour break? I guess it would just fire it up to charge the batteries every once in a while when you need it. Is I-555 called the triple nickel? Oh, maybe. That'd be really something. That'd be good, right? Good. I love it. I love the triple nickel. I do want to say everybody should join OIDA. I'm a member. It's the only thing we've got going at the moment, right? What else can we do right now? And I want to thank everybody for being here, as always. And I'm here every Monday at 1 p.m. And I'll do another live Q&A call in for students or people that are new to the industry, let's say, if you want. And it's just a free call in where we answer questions or whatever for that. It's not on here. It's through a Google meeting. I'll post that up so people can get it, and that's how I'll do it. And you can just get in on that anytime that I do one. I'll do another one and see if people come in. But the last one I did, nobody showed up. So I had to wait there an hour and nobody came in. So Adco, thank you to me and Gracie for the help. Thank you. She woke up finally, so because I think she knows that it's almost going to be lunchtime for her. Cash is King, you've had the same Cobra for 10 years. It was 29 back then. They've gone up in price a little bit since then. Well, Bill, thanks for the fun. I appreciate you being here. Al Johns, thank you for coming in and have a great day. Hello, YouTube. I love that name. Thanks for being here and for saying that. Steel Horse was here. Thank you for coming in. Deep Oil 611 was in. Nomad Trucker, thank you for being here. The Barbecue Trucker is always making the roller wieners. Got time to make the wieners. Lawrence, thanks for being in today. I appreciate you being here. Luke, thanks for the information too. I appreciate it. Wyland is here. Thank you for coming in. I want to thank Kenneth for being here. I kind of feel like at the end of that show, I can't remember the name, but I'm off again as usual on a tangent. Jesse and Jeanette, I'm sorry, but the people are creeping on you. I don't understand it. Be careful out there, really, I guess. I mean, always be aware of your surroundings. Really, everybody should be 100% aware of your surroundings all the time. You never know who's out there for your own safety, okay? Now, Adco, thank you for being here. Nomad Trucker, and I have to go make my company some money, unfortunately, because they insist on it. And I will see you all next week. Thanks for being here.